Lower dump.
I really, really want to get back to some pocket circuit racing. Do you agree?
Hello.
Hi! Welcome back to Lore Dump, the show where we take somebody who hasn't experienced a game or game franchise and walk them through the plot. I'm Chase, and I'm here with a very exhausted, sunglassed Monty Xander, and...
Neo, hello.
Hi, you're much more enthused.
Oh, well, you know, there's enough keeping me on now. Between the bowling chickens and the pocket racer, you've kept me on a hook.
My eyes hurt.
We've just returned from our discovery that this is in fact going to be a 3-part episode, and we just came back from Nishiki almost shooting Kiryu.
Yeah.
Sorry if that just spoiled you. Go back and watch part 1.
It only took 6 chapters, but we finally got some honest character drama. It was great.
Yeah, it was good scene.
Yeah, where's Majima, though? What's he up to?
Oh, I mean, let's just jump right back into it.
Absolutely.
Because we're bored of Kiryu. We don't like character drama.
Majima is so much more interesting than Kiryu right now.
You're not wrong. And
Kiryu's plot is more interesting. Majima's character is better so far.
I would say that's probably consistent for the remainder of this game. Personally, I don't think that we get interest in Kiryu until Yakuza 1.
Good. I thought you were going to be like Yakuza 5.
No. Kiryu from like the main story on is great. I love Kiryu in basically all of his games. He's just a bit plain in Zero.
A little beige.
He's beige, yeah.
Beige. Yeah.
But at least he's got a good plot surrounding him.
Yeah. Super good plot. 50,000 characters.
Do you remember? Can you name every last person in this game?
No, I can't even name purple suit guy that I wanted to talk about. Awano.
Awano. Yeah. Awano.
Still really annoyed that he didn't at least try to kill Kiryu.
He just wanted to kill his dancing girl.
Like, I know he gave the whole speech about, like, oh, Kiryu, you being a little Chaos Goblin is actually good for me in my Cold War. Everyone's involved in their own personal Cold Wars, which is very interesting.
Yeah, I like that.
And I think I would be interested in it. Maybe if I was playing the game, maybe it's just the format of Lore Dump where it's like I'm trying to remember who everybody is. I cannot remember, like, what everyone's deal is. But yeah, no, we'll get there. I'm curious to know how much of this is actually relevant for the future of the Yakuza series, like you keep promising. I'm legitimately curious to see where this goes and how much of it is like, Yakuza 9, remember this random character? And I'm like, yeah.
Do you want me to tell you the honest truth that right now?
No, because I think it'll make me mad.
Yeah.
To be fair, I think that I will say, because I think that it has some sort of relevance, is basically, if you remember, Yakuza 0 came out after Yakuza 5.
Yes.
So obviously, those games can't necessarily make reference to events of Yakuza 0 because they hadn't been conceived yet.
Yes.
But then Yakuza 1 and 2 got remakes, so those do make reference to Yakuza 0.
Oh, that's fun.
And there's a bit of an awkwardness where you go to 3, and not only does the game engine decrease, but it also stops referencing the events of Yakuza 0.
Cool.
But then you get back to 6, and it suddenly starts referencing them again. It's a bit awkward. We're going to get Kiwami 3 soon enough, apparently. RGG Studios confirmed that the other day.
So is Zero... So I went to Zero thinking this is like origin story for Kiryu and Majima, presumably. But what you're saying then is it sounds like, at least as a series, whether or not 3 acknowledges it or not, this is ground zero for the events of the franchise. What happens at the end of this game will kickstart the Yakuza series. You're hesitating too much.
To a degree, yes.
Okay, sure.
I would not say that the empty plot specifically is like the catalyst for the series.
Oh, thank God, because I'm losing track.
But yes, the events of this game do directly cause the events of Yakuza 1.
When they remade 1 and 2, did they add in any of the mechanics that were introduced in the later games, or the mini games and karaoke and stuff?
Yes, so Yakuza 1 and 2 had mini games, but it was like poker, slots. It was like those very like Vegas kind of games that were very like Yakuza. You get some like bunch of like board games. It was after they remade them, because it was in 3 they added in like things like karaoke and stuff. So those got added then when they remade 1 and 2. Along with 1 and 2 were originally released on PS2. Very old games. We'll talk about that more when we get to those ones.
Cool.
But 1, when it was remade with the engine for 0, and so all the fighting styles are back, which fighting styles were not a thing in the original Yakuza 1.
Oh, wow, okay.
So they brought them into Kiwami 1 because better.
Excellent.
We'll talk more about that when we get to Yakuza 1. For now, let's return to Sotenbori.
Chapter 7, baby.
Chapter 7, A Dark Escape. So Majima leads Makoto into a dark dingy warehouse. He didn't kill her. Good for him.
Yeah.
Good guy.
I hope not. Yeah.
He pushes her down onto an old couch. And she asks him what's going on. Why is all this happening?
I don't like the use of the verb pushed.
I mean, it's an apt one. He literally shoves her onto a couch.
Oh, God, okay.
Majima throws a question back, trying to figure out why the Yakuza are after her, but she doesn't have a clue.
She has no idea why they're...
She's just as lost as Majima is
as I am.
as to why the Yakuza want her. Majima tells her that all the telephone girls know the name Makoto Makimura and that they're looking for somebody with a bat tattoo, asking if it's her or the big guy. She just wants some confirmation. She confirms she is Makoto, but she still doesn't know. She asks who Majima is. A lost cause, he responds. Can't even take care of one girl. I'm a joke of a... He stops himself.
Edgelord.
He is a bit. He stops himself. A joke of a what? She pushes. A hitman. She's shaken as he explains how he was hired to kill her, but under these false pretenses of like who she was. He didn't know that she was going to be a blind girl. He asks her what's up with the bat tattoo and why she's looking for him, but she just kind of screams that it's enough and asks for Lee. Majima finally kind of defeatedly admits how Lee was shot and didn't survive like he had told her.
Do we know that Lee didn't survive? Was he dead when we left? Or
He was on the ground, riddled with bullet holes, in a puddle of blood.
Still rooting for a Lee return.
Yeah, I liked Lee. Yeah, he's currently more interesting than Kiryu.
Yeah. So Makoto like gets up hearing that and tries running, but she trips. As she goes to fall, Majima catches her in his arms, telling her that he's probably still alive, that the bullets didn't hit anything vital. He'll take her to him, but only after she tells him everything he knows. Makoto asks, if you're a hitman, why haven't you killed me yet? But he doesn't really have an answer, saying that it doesn't matter. Once his boss finds out she's not dead, he'll kill them both.
I'd say it's a pretty simple answer.
Yeah.
You know, I was told you were an absolute monster, and it turns out you're just a normal person. Yeah. End of story.
I mean, to be fair, he's meant to be a criminal who was given a name. Who the person is behind the name, he's not meant to care.
True, but we still don't have confirmation.
We were to assume that he felt okay doing it because he was hearing that the women were being beaten by this imaginary man.
Which, assumedly, they told him so that he would.
Yeah, exactly.
We still don't have confirmation or evidence that Majima has ever killed another person. Maybe he's like Kiryu.
As of this point, he has not.
He has not killed a person before.
Neither of them have.
Cool. Okay.
Both blood virgins.
Who will break that rule first? Virgin. Sorry.
Back in school.
So, he tells her that if he knows why they want her dead, he might be able to help stop it. She tells him that he needs to ask Lee. He's the one who knows the details about the man with the bat tattoo. Majima jumps up, explaining that, why didn't she tell him that then? He may have avoided vital organs, but the guy's still shut up. What if he up and dies?
Yeah, I was bullshitting you. Your friend's fucked. I was obviously lying. He got shot 50 times.
He sprints out of there trying to, like, make sure Lee doesn't die.
I care about Lee now.
He has vital info. And he tells her as he goes to not leave the room if she doesn't want to die.
Lee has the plot. Go and get Lee.
So he walks out, and he happens to see that this warehouse is actually owned by the Odyssey Club. And the owner of the Odyssey Club is waiting outside.
This is the rival nightclub.
The rival nightclub. Basically, Majima came and is like, I'll give you a favor if you let me store my girl here in your warehouse.
Got you.
He asks Majima if he's ever been to the cabaret clubs. Charged by the hour like a cabaret, but offer top-grade hospitality of a hospitality club. He tells Majima they're the future of nightlife, and that whoever controls the cabaret clubs controls the night. But we'll get back to that later, don't worry. Don't worry.
Okay.
We'll get back to that later.
He is the Lord of the Night. He needs to...
He's the Lord of the Day.
The Lord of the Dance.
Lord of Summon. Lord of Shit.
Majima heads back to the clinic looking for Lee, but he's gone. Suddenly, he hears a noise from the door as a man walks in. Majima pins him to the wall. Knife pointed to his throat, demanding to know who he is.
Sounds like another way of getting around TikTok's policies. Unalived him with a knife.
The guy's just a nobody. Just came by to get a change of clothes for Lee. So Lee's alive, apparently, somewhere. It seems he's a doctor who's well known and utilized by the local Chinese community, and Lee's currently at his hospital.
Okay.
He convinces the doctor to tell him where the hospital is. It's in a mahjong parlor called Mahjong Jambalaya over on Shofukucho West. it's an underground hospital. Underground meaning underworld, not physical. In fact, it's on a second floor. So it's very high up. The doctor asks to...
Spent 10 minutes confused in a basement before he realized.
The doctor asks if he can, like, leave, but Majima has different ideas and punches the guy in the gut and knocks him out.
Oh, yes. Good Majima. Yes, you punch that doctor.
Can't have Lee knowing he's coming, so he tells the dude to take a power nap.
Right.
Okay.
Majima heads over to the mahjong parlor where he finds Lee heavily bandaged up, but seemingly pretty alright, all things considered. He's just playing a round of mahjong with some guys.
Oh, no.
And he, like, laughs at Majima when he shows up. Like, about time you got here, you fuck.
Yeah, well.
Seems that he suspected that Majima would track him down, telling him how he always wanted to play mahjong with a hitman, making him sit down.
Time for a mahjong minigame?
There is a mahjong minigame. Oh. It's not right now.
Oh, okay.
And in fact, it's never mandatory.
Saving that gold for later.
Yeah.
I'll save that for one of the ones that has, like, entire underground parlors.
Excellent, yeah.
So he knows that Makoto's alive because he knows that Majima hasn't killed anyone before. He can tell. Majima has the look of somebody still struggling to cross that line. And he's asking, what's somebody like that doing taking hit jobs? Majima tells him that he doesn't know shit about him, but Lee tells him to cut it. He isn't threatened by some green kid. He can tell everything just by looking at him. Majima tells him that Makoto's fine and uninjured, which Lee's thrilled to hear. So what are you doing here then? Looking for a way out of getting whacked? Now the killer's screwed the pooch and he's trying not to be the next name on his boss's list, eh? Majima tells him that, to be clear, he's not decided yet that he won't kill her. He's also not the only guy after her, and he asks Lee why they want her, but only gets back to ask his employer. Majima asks if it's because they're sniffing around about a guy with a bat tattoo. Hard to say, Lee replies. Is he the font of plot you wanted?
Yes.
Suddenly, the doctor bursts through the door with backup. Nice playing with you, Slim, Lee says. If I can't tell whose side you're on, it's safer just to kill you. That's how the Chinese in this town do things. Which I feel like I should...
We're not in China.
No. So, I feel like I should mention now a bit of awkwardness in the Yakuza series. The Yakuza series has kind of come under fire that I don't feel massively qualified to talk about, but I feel like I would do a disservice to not bring up in the way that it portrays other Asian communities in the game. Specifically, the Chinese and Koreans are often portrayed, like, the Yakuza are played as, like, criminals, but, like, criminals with honor, whereas a lot of the foreign criminals are kind of a lot more brutal and stereotyped and stuff. It's not great. It's gotten better in the more recent games, but even in Zero, which is somewhat more of a recent one, it can be a bit...
Bit dodgy.
So the Chinese are running this this underground hospital. Is that what the acknowledgement is?
So this is just there is a local Chinese community in Mori, and this hospital just happens to help them out. A lot of them have come in, undocumented immigrants and stuff. They can't necessarily get government services for getting healthcare.
Gotcha.
So this is just a local doctor who helps out the Chinese community.
Cool. Okay. Right.
That part specifically, good. As for whether the Chinese in town just kill people, that's not necessarily great, but anyhow.
Yeah, like not all homeless people are booze hounds. It's just Yakuza at this point.
A lot of the stuff in this game can...
Not all women are sex workers, but apparently there's only one female character who isn't.
Anyhow, Majima does his little breakdance, beating into the guys, and finally gets Lee to talk. He says that whatever the reason for the hit is, it doesn't have to do with the guy with the bat tattoo. Completely unrelated plot.
All I want to do is find out about this goddamn bat tattoo.
I think this is so funny that is the singular plot thread you remember from playing this game.
For those of you who have maybe jumped in here, don't know why, but I have played Yakuza 0. I've played give or take about 2/3 it seems, and I stopped when I found out who has the bat tattoo, just because another game came along and I never went back to the series. So I know when we find out who the bat tattoo is, we're in new territory for me, and that's why I'm excited.
It seems that Makoto does actually know all the details about this guy with the bat tattoo. She just doesn't like to talk about it. Hence why she sent Majima to Lee. She's only blind because of the man with the bat tattoo. Mm-hmm. Oh. So she came to Osaka 2 years ago, an 18-year-old girl on her own. Got gigs as a hostess, but unfortunately that kind of made her an easy target. Scummy guy approached her, and when he found out that she was alone, dropped the nice guy act, locked her up in a cage, and sold her off to the Korean mafia. Jesus. After that, well, you can imagine the sort of things she faced every day, morning till night. But that's what caused her blindness. It's a post-traumatic psychogenic blindness. And the last thing that she ever saw before she lost it was of a tattoo of a bat on the arm of the guy who sold her. So he took her in 6 months ago, and they've been searching for the guy ever since. Says that he just wants to make sure that it doesn't happen to anybody else. But he wants to snap the fucker's neck in half. Peel the goddamn bat right off his arm.
This is horrible stuff. But you mentioned it in the first part. The tone in this game is all over the fucking place. We've gone from like Omelette the chicken running a bowling alley to and then you're straight into like modern slavery. It's a trip.
It's not even really just modern slavery though. It is modern slavery attached to like sexual torture. Not just sexual assault, sexual torture. Like it's grim.
Yeah. Which I'm not going to say that specific instance, but a lot of that juxtaposition between very silly slice of life stuff to the very gritty crime drama is, to be fair, a lot of the appeal of the series, which is why a lot of people say that if you don't do the side content, you aren't playing Yakuza.
I get it. I get it's the series identity. I totally understand that. I just think that it does not mesh with the story you're telling so far. And I appreciate you including it so that we can get what the vibe is. But, like, there is some serious high-stakes, deep character shit going on, mixed in with some, like, chaos nonsense. This is, like...
Oh, I mean, we need to have the chaos.
Oh, I'm glad that it's here.
Would it be a chase video if there wasn't chaos?
I think that the story would be more effective without the side content, and perhaps with cutting about 20% of the fat.
You've annoyed a lot of people
yes,
with
I
that
have.
Yeah. Just gonna go drop in the Discord, end the voice recording, send that off.
And I guarantee that there will be comments saying like, you know, Monty, you say how much you love Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead Redemption 2 is not as tonally wild as this. The vampire in Red Dead Redemption 2 is not the same as the bowling alley chicken.
Yeah.
It's not.
Even that's a kind of grim serial killer tale. Yeah.
Here's the thing. If you hate this, buckle up.
Yes.
I don't hate it. I'm having a good time. I just think it diminishes the quality of the story.
The tone gets so much less clear in future games.
Let's go.
This game is decently balanced in its tone.
There is just very quickly on this, right? Because one day we will cover Final Fantasy VII because there's so many games now. There's a beautiful moment that I'm sure people are aware of, even if you haven't played the original game, following the spoilers, death of Aerith in the OG version of the game, where right after this really horrible traumatic death and you're really sad and shit, the next activity you do is snowboarding, which is funny, but the kind of fun bit of that is that you're supposed to feel quite weird about it. You're doing a mini game, but there's no music. It is just Cloud silently depressedly snowboarding. And like that is stupid and silly and nonsense, but that is more tonally consistent than the shit that Yakuza 0 is pulling right now. Sorry, you've not even introduced another wacky side piece. Continue.
I will say that to be fair, a lot of the way that I have personally ended up editing this is I wrote the entire like main story and then went back in later and added in the side content with basically zero consideration for where I was putting it because I felt like that was how I played the game. But you could ignore it all.
As a player, when I played Yakuza 0, I did some of the wacky side content after some of the really traumatic story beats, and it felt weird. And it's because you don't really know what you're getting yourself into, because not all of the side content is wacky, stupid shit. Sometimes it's just fetch quest or something.
Yeah. Sometimes the side content is in itself character drama.
Yeah, so sometimes you don't know what you're getting introduced to because you can't walk 3 feet down that fucking street without someone boxing Kiryu and saying, come help me with my stuff.
Or someone coming beating you up and taking your wallet.
Anyway, sorry, this is already a multi-parter. Ignore me, Chase, back to the story, please.
Of course. Anyhow, yeah, so given all that, it's a bit unlikely that the Batman?
Yeah, sure, the Batman.
It's a bit unlikely that the Batman is the reason for the hit.
Oh,
stay out of Gotham.
It's because he doesn't kill.
Stay out of Sunbury. Stay out of Kamurocho. Majima goes to leave, telling Lee where Makoto is. But Lee asks, is he just going to give her back? Even after your boss kills you off for not killing her? She'll be in danger from the next guy they send. Only one way the three of them are all getting away clean from the Yakuza, but it ain't going to be pretty. And Lee needs to know whether he's in or out before he tells him the plan. Is he prepared to do anything? which seems to be Majima's running theme.
Yeah.
Majima agrees, and Lee tells him to go back to Makoto. Take care of her till tomorrow. He just needs to get something done in a hurry now.
Oh wait, we've got to wait one day.
All right, what do you got for us, Chase?
No, he's gonna wait with her, like he was asked.
Yeah, you're right. Yes, he's not going to leave this hostage woman alone in the apartment.
Really irresponsible.
While there's a hit out on her.
Sorry, Chase.
Majima tells him to find him at the Grand and leaves, which there is a very amusing moment where he's like, wait, are you fucking kidding me? You're the manager of the Grand this whole time. Don't fucking hit me. And Majima's like, hee. Flashes his peace signs. So he heads back to Makoto, who's still sat in like the same position he left her in. She asks about Lee, and Majima tells her that he's doing too well, all things considered. Which she's very happy to hear. She suddenly gets quiet, asking then if he's heard her story, and he confirms, saying that it can't have been easy for her, and that her current situation can't be any better. But he tries comforting her in the fact that it's probably not the man with the bat tattoo after her now. He sits down next to her as she begins to cry, trying to comfort her about how he's also partially blind from a similar situation. But hey ho, he's still got one eye, so I guess he's the lucky one.
I mean, hers is, it's not chemically induced, is it? So there is a chance that she could regain her eyesight one.
She could, yeah.
There is a chance, okay.
There is a chance, whereas he just does not have an eyeball. So obviously, that does absolutely fuck all to help her, and she just cries harder.
Yeah, you've just heard her story and described yourself as the lucky one, so maybe that didn't nail it.
So he switches topics, asking if she's hungry, and she's like, she's fine, but he's like, no, you need food, and she's like, fine, give me some takoyaki. So he goes out and grabs him. By the time he's back, she's calmed down a bit. They sit down together, eating in silence, and she finally asks how he lost his eye. He tells her that it was just an accident, but hey, he's got one, so he's doing all right. She says,
better than you.
She says how she doesn't see him as more lucky. Hers could come back one day. Majima says that it's great that she still has hope, but she's still sad for him, and he jokes that he's doing all right. Only complaint now is that it's ruined his handsome face. She's like, are you handsome? And he goes, I was with a pair of eyes at least. Crying shame I can't show you now. It's such a shame that she
is blind. Fuck's sake, game.
Can't see how fit he is.
Although clearly what they're doing here is they're connecting these two characters and their emotional pasts, and it is quite beautiful as much as we're ripping on it. I like this scene a lot.
Majima notices how Makoto's wearing a wristwatch and asks her about it, saying how it's odd that a blind girl has a wristwatch.
Leave it alone. Just drop it, man.
But she tells her that it's actually a music box. It plays a little chime that she likes, or at least it used to. It's broken now.
Oh.
But some things are just too important to throw away. It broke around the time that she lost her sight. But to her, it's still a memento of when things were normal. If she got rid of it now, she'd feel she'd never... She pauses. Still, I'd love to hear it chime again. He tells her that if she can't bring herself to throw it away, keep it. Eventually, it'll give her good luck. Eventually, she says, looking at it. Suddenly, a resolve strikes her. She takes it off, saying that he's right. It's silly.
What?
No. What?
God, he is just fucking up this whole interaction, isn't he?
What
is he doing? What is he doing? He's like a maniac. Why have you got that on? What's wrong with him?
Are you blind?
What's wrong with this man?
Blind? I'm not blind.
No, it's really sad because it feels like he keeps trying. He just keeps fumbling the ball.
Yeah, apparently.
When we first met him, he was so suave and sort of had an answer for everything.
But now there's a pretty lady.
He just can't have an interaction.
Now there's a pretty lady that he feels bad for almost killing.
Even when the doctor comes in, he fucking knocks the doctor out. The doctor just follows him with some guys. He's just mucking everything up.
Bring back... I don't like Majima. I take it back. Bring back... Grand Cabaret Majima is awesome. The mask he wears is awesome. Real Majima, vulnerable man Majima. I don't like this guy. Annoying.
Who do you like? Who would you like to see more of?
Lee. And
Pocket Circuit Fighter.
Kuze. I liked Kuze. I hope we get another Kuze boss fight.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
The chicken.
So... She resolves strikes her and she takes it off, saying that he's right, it's silly. Because she keeps clinging to it, she can't face reality. She thanks Majima, telling him that he's kind. That she needs to get stronger. She will get stronger. And she kind of leaves the watch and Majima picks it up and pockets it. And then shifts the conversation, telling her that Lee has a plan to get them to safety, but that she needs to hold on till then. He gets up, telling her that he needs to get to work. But before, though, he asks her one more, does she know Sagawa? She says no, causing Majima to think that Sagawa is just doing it off somebody else's orders.
Sagawa's his handler, right? The guy that sent him on the
Sagawa
hit.
is his handler, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So he thinks that the hit that he got from Sagawa came from somebody above Sagawa.
And Saiga was the only one we haven't had a boss fight with, right? Or those
Yes.
3. Yeah.
No. Sagawa is Majima's guy,
that's right.
unrelated to
Yeah,
3.
yeah.
Gotta separate the cities.
Yeah.
Other side of the country.
Yeah, these plots have nothing to do with each other, but they are in the same game.
Please, do not get it twisted, sir.
Until we inevitably get a Majima Kiryu boss fight at the end.
I'm hoping.
She asks if Sagawa is blackmailing him, and he doesn't deny it. But he says that he ain't a saint. That killing her was his ticket back into the Yakuza. That concerns her. She realizes that there must be a price then for him letting her live, but he says he's fine. Lee has the plan after all. He heads off to the Grand, but decides to stop by the cabaret club the Odyssey owner mentioned on his way. It's called Club Sunshine.
Oh, like the
goes in-
Sunshine Orphanage.
No, it's Sunflower.
Fuck. Okay.
No.
Well, it's another parallel.
This is Club Sunshine. He goes in and he's set up with our top girl. Her name's Yuki. We love Yuki. Yuki's one of my favorite characters in the series, I shit you not.
Okay.
Sadly, I'm not really doing her any justice in Zero because I didn't have time to write about it.
What does she do?
She is crazy awkward. She does not know how to talk to a customer.
Those two get on famously. Fucking hell, you seen what you're wearing? What are those shoes?
Which causes Majima to be absolutely just baffled as to how she's the number 1 girl. But seemingly it's because there's only 3 there, and it's an absolute ghost town in the club.
Wait, so Yuki's the best of the 3?
Yuki's the best of the 3.
Oh, okay.
Seems that the club was doing fine until one day the 5 stars attacked.
Different from the 5
5
billionaires.
No, they're separate. Oh god. There's not enough characters. We need to pad out the cast.
Is Miraculous Johnson one of the the famous 5?
What is the acting budget in this game to have so many characters?
So these are 5 club. Oh, don't worry, they're not voice acted.
Oh, even better.
Right.
So these are 5 club owners who run the most powerful cabaret clubs in town and who've been poaching all the talent and shutting down the competition. And they're all named fucking stupid things. It's like Mars, Mercury, Venus, Saturn.
So this is Majima's version of the real estate minigame, I guess.
Yes.
Yes, okay, sorry,
I
okay.
feel bad for the one. 4 of them were named after a planet, and one of them was named after a fucking cell.
Oh, it's even funnier because Moon is the most powerful one.
Excellent. Why did Odyssey tell us to come to this amazing, successful cabaret club and we got here and it's a ghost town?
I think that, if I remember right, he just told us to go to a cabaret club, and Majima just happened to choose Sunshine.
Sure.
Although, to be fair, what we actually learned is that Sunshine used to be very powerful, until the 5 stars attacked, and then kind of poached all their talent, and now they're not. So Majima hears that once they've taken down all the other cabaret clubs, they're going to move on to the actual cabarets. And he's not letting them get in the way of his grand.
No.
So he offers to help out Sunshine. They immediately accept and make him their manager.
Oh, second job?
Instantly.
Well, he didn't have enough on this week.
Which turns into an entire minigame that I don't think I have any... No, I don't have any fucking pictures of, annoyingly. There's an entire minigame where you run a cabaret club and you go around town, you hire girls off the streets. There are some side stories where you can do a side story, and then, like, there's this sweet old lady, she's in the Obitarian, she has big purple hair, she wears a wonderful leopard shirt, and I don't mean, like, leopard print, I mean it's a face of a leopard on a shirt.
Yeah.
Right.
And she thinks Majima's the hottest guy in town, and he hires her. She's, like, a sweet old lady who's definitely not the worst. And he hires her as a hostess, and she's like an S-rank hostess, because you can get S-rank hostess, SSS, CBA. You can dress them up. You can go out buy clothes, and then you can go on dates with them to make them better. And he actually goes, and he basically trains Yuki up to become the best hostess in all of Sotenbori. And Yuki...
Listeners, this is the first time I ever wished that there was a camera in this room so you can see Neil's face as Chase explains yet another nonsense side quest to us. I just want to get back to the plot, please.
This is also... this is...
Don't tell me this is main plot.
Technically, coming here was...
I will tip this table over.
The rest of the minigame isn't, but introducing the minigame, of course, is main plot.
You know what I miss? I miss the train robberies from Red Dead 2. That could be
You had the audacity to complain about 3 trains throughout that.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
I love the
I did too.
I spent so much fun. I probably invested about 40 hours into the Cabaret Club
No,
minigame.
you didn't.
Because the Cabaret Club minigame is one of the best parts of this game.
That's a relatively long single-player game.
Yeah, it is.
40 hours.
I would pay
probably
$60 to play that game, a game of that length that isn't doing that.
Yeah, I was going to say, pay 60 quid not to do it.
To not play that game, that's what I would pay, yeah.
But yeah, so Majima saves the club, defeats the 5 stars, and Yuki becomes a close confidant and the most legendary hostess that Sotenbori has ever seen.
Do you actually see her grow as a character?
Yeah.
Like, does her dialogue improve and
Oh
stuff?
my God,
and she's yeah, cool.
And by the end, when Majima finally leaves, I think that she takes over as manager, if I remember right.
Oh, great.
When you first told us about this and you said it's all set in the same maps, I thought, God, no wonder they can get them out so quickly. Hearing about how much is in these games, how have they made one?
Yeah.
Never mind one every few years. It's insane. There's so much in here.
Yeah.
Too much in here.
Oh, I don't even think you understand the fact that this script, for as long as it is, I've probably only covered about 20% of the side content.
Jesus.
There is so much I have left out.
Insane.
Like,
You could just live another life in this game.
What are the working conditions like for the team making
like,
these?
That bikini thing, that's an entire 20-hour minigame on itself. Because there's a full tournament bracket in there.
Oh, no, there isn't. No, there isn't.
Same with bowling. There's an entire bowling league. There are tournaments for basically every minigame. Like, there's arcades. There's Sega arcades that have full Sega games in the arcade machines. So you can play, like, the whole Sonic the Hedgehog in your Yakuza game.
No, you can't.
Yes,
What?
you can. Because it's a Sega game.
That is
So
pretty
they're
cool.
right.
That is pretty cool. That's sick.
My favorite is you can go into the arcades and you know those like arcade games where it's like a big jet ski and you can sit in the jet ski?
Mm-hmm.
You can play that. And it's like the actual one from the arcade cabinet.
Next, go on. Plot. Done.
Yes. So Majima finally, having created a legendary hostess in his spare time, heads off to the Grand where he's quickly told that a short, ragged Chinese gentleman is asking after him. It's the doctor. Here with a message from Lee.
Oh.
He's watching the club and wants Majima to head home. He'll follow him and meet him there. Majima leaves, but of course the second he leaves the club he's accosted by the Yakuza from last night. They're still there.
I keep forgetting that the Yakuza are even in this game. It's just about a man doing real estate. Two men doing real estate.
Cabaret clubs are not real estate, please. He's creating a legendary hostess.
Sorry, you're right.
And he's dressing them up like dolls.
There's so much staffing to worry about, you know?
Oh, you need to pay for staff in that minigame.
Yeah, of course.
And you need
No,
to, like,
no, next. Plot.
you need to, assign schedules.
Please get back to
And
the
you need to
plot.
give them holidays.
Please tell me what's going to happen
And you need
next.
to pay their salaries.
Who
I'm not
has the
even
back
joking.
tattoo?
I'm not joking. This is part of the game.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
Stop encouraging it. Make it stop.
Oh, we've got
You are never hosting again.
9 more games after this.
No, next.
Oh my god. Okay, so the guys from last night, they've finally found out, oh yeah, the guy who beat us up, that's the Grand guy. The Grand guy. And they want Makoto. And they brought baseball bats this time. Oh. Little do they know, Majima also has a baseball bat, and he's gonna hit a home run.
Well, he's got the slugger stance.
Yeah. So Majima tries to get answers as the beaten down guy, but suddenly, you causing trouble right outside the club, Mr. Manager. It's Sagawa. The goons who had come see Sagawa and fucking book it.
Yeah.
Like, Sagawa is hot shit to the point where
Yeah.
these guys see him and they're like, we're not dealing with that. Sagawa asks Majima if he's tracked down Makimura yet, which Majima says no, he hasn't. But seems Sagawa heard that he didn't go home last night, assumed that meant he tracked him down. Sagawa tells him that he needs to keep better contact, getting a sassy, well, we just made contact now, from Majima. And Sagawa asks if Majima needs any advice on any snags. I'd rather ask a telephone pole for advice than you.
Oh.
Majima walks away.
Good line.
But, I mean, I respect it.
Majima gives such sass to Sagawa, it's great. He heads home, and Lee is right there behind him, asking what the fuck's up with Majima's apartment, saying there's at least 4 sets of eyes watching it. Majima's impressed that Lee noticed, but he's used to everybody watching his apartment. The eyes don't know he has Makoto, so it doesn't matter. He tells Lee that there's not only eyes in the house, but there's also on the Grand and every road out of Otenbori, all there to keep him locked in his cage.
It's an interesting question that we've established that he's got this, he's living almost in this sort of police state of everyone knowing what he's doing at all times. How the hell did he manage to get her to the warehouse and keep her there without anyone seeing him go in? And out twice now.
I think, at least at the time, they're not like watching his every move. They are specifically watching his hotspots and his routes of escape.
Okay.
So that he can't go. Will that change? We'll see. So Lee's like, okay, this place ain't safe. We're going somewhere else. And he's like, we'll go to where the warehouse where we have Makoto. And he's like, I have a secret passage behind a bookshelf in the massage clinic. We can throw him off the trail.
That would have been good.
So Majima heads for the Hokusai Kaikon. And again, a stealth segment where he hides from every pair of eyes he sees. And finally makes his way there and through the passage, which comes out like 5 inches away. It literally seems to be there just so he can go in, and they chase him in. They go, where'd he go?
Oh. Okay.
But it's enough to lose these cunning Yakuza, so he heads to the warehouse.
Yep.
Lee's already there, and he's left an envelope with Makoto for Majima to open. Inside are dozens of surveillance photos of a girl.
Oh.
Lee comes back with drinks, handing one to Makoto, and explains that she's a serial marriage fraudster. Not Makoto, the girl in the picture.
Oh, right.
She's a serial marriage fraudster. That's a good thing you thought that, though. Seemingly all her husbands go missing, and Lee seems to think that she drains them for all their worth, then disposed of them. But every monster's got their redeeming features. Take this, for example, the fact that she looks an awful lot like Makoto. Suddenly, Makoto goes limp, and the drink falls from her hands. Lee catches her and lays her softly on the couch. Those drugs really pack a punch.
Okay. So we're doing a swappy over or something.
We're doing a swappy. Majima asks what the fuck is going on, and Lee tells him the next part isn't for her ears. Majima doesn't understand. You're awfully dense for a hitman, Lee chides. The girl in the photo is going to be Makoto's body double. They give her up as body for proof of the hit, and everyone's square.
So we're just
going to put this woman, this innocent woman, in the way of these assassins.
Oh no, they're going to kill her and then give him the body.
Holy shit. Lee! We were rooting for you, Lee!
Still rooting for the chicken.
I like how you keep rooting for criminals and then getting surprised.
Criminal doesn't equal bad.
Exactly. Red Dead 2, there are numerous members of the gang that you're rooting for, including your main character. But right now, both our main characters suck.
To be fair, in that game, the government was bad.
Yeah. In this game, everybody is. Kiryu's working for a big bad. Oh, terrible. Annoying. Move on. Next. Right, kill the con woman then.
Lee grabs a bag. Lee grabs a bag that he brought with him and pulls out one of Makoto's uniforms, saying that they're going to dress the body in it. When the police come to ID the body, they'll come to him because of the uniform, and then he'll confirm that it's definitely Makoto and get him off scot-free. Majima reports back that they won't throw him for long. The second they start investigating, they'll realize it's a fake. But that's fine. It just needs to buy them enough time to get.
Oh, he's down with this plan.
Majima's not down with this plan.
Okay.
Majima is weirded by this plan and by how violent Lee is being.
Good. Okay, Majima. Spitting facts.
He's basically trying to tell him this is a stupid plan. But Lee's kind of like trying to come back and be like, no, it's a great plan. Love this plan. Once they're gone, they can give Makoto a nice face job. A little acid to erase fingerprints. No one will ever know it's her.
Okay.
Majima's shocked, asking, the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Lee divulges that in his past lives, he was also a hitman for the Chinese triads. Last job he did was 6 months ago. Majima picks up on that, saying how Makoto also came to him 6 months ago, but we never actually learned how she escaped the Koreans. Seems it was Lee who was sent in to raid their base in a turf war over the slave trade. He killed all the Koreans and was just left with a bunch of half-naked girls in cages. He unlocked the doors and they all bolted, all but one. She reached out blindly into the darkness, finding Lee's hand, and when she found it, she couldn't let go. Just kept thanking him over and over again. Her hand was so tiny, man. But he just couldn't bear to let her go. See, once upon a time, Lee also had a daughter, a sick little girl who needed constant medicine that eventually degraded her into blindness. Makoto reaching out and grabbing his hand felt exactly as he remembered from his daughter. He won't let a second daughter die.
But he will let a third that looks just like her be killed. We will actively kill her.
Well, that's not a daughter, though.
Yeah, none of them. Neither's.
No, neither's she, really. I get it, yeah. Adopted daughter. Okay, fair enough, Lee. And you wanted more of Lee's backstory. There you go.
Yeah, got it now. I think he's a piece of shit. I really regret asking.
Majima's heard enough, though, saying that this trick would never fool Sagawa, and he's out. He goes to leave, but Lee shoots after him. Gonna run away again. He gets back between Majima and the door, saying he's probably got that eye from running away, too. Came all his way and never had to dirty his hand, acting like a goddamn choir boy.
Uh-huh.
Only choir boys don't murder innocents.
Yeah, I know. You're not going to shame me into doing this.
Time to man the fuck up and act like the Yakuza he claims to be. He's not letting anybody who knows about the plan leave the room alive. And then we get a Lee boss fight, part 2.
Good stuff.
Majima beats back Lee and goes to leave, but Lee begs him, telling him that there's no other way. They need a body. Majima looks at him. You said it yourself, Lee. Once you step into the shadows, you're stained for life. No getting that mark off you. But you can still choose who you drag down with you. He picks up the photos of the girl, ripping it in half, picks up the uniform, and heads off.
Good line, good moment, like that.
He heads to the park, smoking dejectedly from a bench, staring up into the light. Hell am I doing? He throws the uniform away in a nearby can and walks off. As he does, a red suit comes into frame, reaching out for the bag.
Have we seen anybody wearing a red suit? No, we haven't, have we?
We've had purple suit.
Yeah, purple suit is who I thought. But it seems like somebody's picking up this plan.
The next morning, Majima heads out to the Grand, knowing his time is running thin before Sagawa figures it all out. He gets to the Grand, where he hears that Lee had called for him, asking to meet him at the Hogashi Kaikon. Majima seemingly never has to work because he leaves immediately.
Just seen Lee.
Yeah.
He gets there, and Lee is pumped. He's ecstatic, and Majima's confused. Look at you playing the hero all by yourself. Well, it's all behind us now. You done good. Majima has no clue what's going on, and Lee looks at him. You did her, didn't you? The girl from the photos. They both turn to look at the TV in the corner where the news is playing. Early this morning, the body of a young woman was found in the Sotenbori River. From her clothing, the deceased is believed to be Makoto Makimura, age 20.
Right.
Okay, right. But job done then. I mean, yeah, okay, he didn't do it, but like... And also, worth noting here that this is the second time someone seems to be doing a hit for Yakuza.
Almost framing.
Yeah. First Kiryu, now Majima. I wonder if it's the same person that did both. But yeah, okay, job done. I mean, it's bad and it's awful, but like, it's done.
Well, no, to be fair, he did say that he didn't think the plan would work, or would only give them like an extra day.
Well, yeah.
Majima tells Lee that he didn't kill anyone, but seems not only was she killed, she was wearing the uniform Lee had for her. Cops came by to ask Lee to ID her. Her face was caved in, but sure enough, it was the same uniform. Suddenly, the phone rings from the other room. Lee heads over and picks it up. It's for Majima. You see my little present yet? How you like it? A voice chuckles from the other side of the line. The person seems to know everything, saying how there's a dead Makoto, his boss, will be off his ass. Majima should be thanking him. I'm looking to trade, he says. I'm over at your club right now, enjoying a drink. We go over to the Grand, specifically a zoom of a hand shoved down a girl's dress, violently caressing her boob. Oh, stop it, you, she giggles. It zooms out to show us a man in the red suit from earlier, surrounded by Majima's girls. Why don't you come enjoy it with me? Don't keep me waiting, stud. End of chapter.
Nothing to say. We don't recognize this guy. We haven't seen him before.
We have no clue who this is. He's grotty.
He's bad news, though. Yeah.
Fucking love him.
I love a good villain. Yeah. Chapter
8, Tug of War.
I read that as Jug of War. Excuse me. Next.
Lee panics about some random knowing about the plan, and Majima tells him about how he dumped the uniform in the pictures, so the guy must have been watching him. Lee asks if it might be Majima's boss, but no, Sagawa would have just called him directly. Whoever it is, he does know that Majima was ordered to kill Makoto. So either it's the guy who shot Lee, or somebody related to them.
Okay.
It's all coming together, Neil!
Yeah, no, I think I've got that, yeah.
Majima tells him to stay with Makoto and runs to the Grand, where sure enough, the Yakuza is there. Oh yeah, it's the same group as before, the one that keeps chasing him, and every time you see him, he has another bandage somewhere on his face. Like, you beat him up at the Hogashi Kaikon, and he comes back the next time with, like, bandage wrapped around his head. The next time you come, he's got, like, one on his cheek.
Excellent.
He just keeps getting more and more beat up.
Yeah, that's fun.
Seems the one on the phone was his patriarch, who was waiting inside, making himself at home. They step inside, welcoming Majima into the club. Inside, it's empty besides the one table where he's at with all the girls. He's still groping up on the same girl's boob. He moans, "Let me in on the action too." He grabs her hand, running it against his crotch. "You're so bad," she giggles. "Just this once, okay?" She stops. "Wait, Ew, you're hard. You bet your ass I am, he
We're
smirks.
never ever making money off this video.
No, we're not. No.
Money.
Folks, we might do a break after the first few Yakuzas to cover Alan Wake 2 early so that we can make some money per month. And then we will come back. We'll see.
My bad. He slams his wallet hard down the table. How much until it's okay, sugar? She giggles. Let's see. 10 grand for a second. She giggles again. Oh yeah? Then a mil buys me a minute 40.
Oh, I hate this guy. Can we just get over with
I
it?
adore him. They all laugh as Majima walks up to the table. The Grand Manager acts back on his face as he reminds them that sexual contact is prohibited at the Grand. The girls see Majima and immediately, just away from him. Just slide away. Oh, so this is Majima-kun, eh? Your manager's real scary, isn't he? Damn right I am.
Can you remind me, Chase, the term like Majima-kun and stuff, is that a insulting term or is that a respectful term?
In this, it depends on the context of who's using it. I think that in this, typically you would use kun with a younger boy. So this is a bit patronizing him, calling him kun. Usually it would be Majima-san, which is kind of like Mr. Majima.
Right, okay.
So
is it like a friendly term? Like we would call each other...
It can be.
Like Chase-kun?
It can be. Like how Kiryu introduced himself to the Pocket Circuit Fighter as Kazuma-kun. It can be familiar, but because this guy is a complete stranger, it's meant to be very patronizing.
Cool.
Much in the same way that in Glasgow, the word pal can have a range of meanings.
What do you mean, pal? What are you saying?
Exactly.
What are you saying, pal?
That's my pal. It's just my pal's coming down.
My pal.
Yeah. See?
Same with word
Well, there goes the rest of the money.
Majima looks dead-eyed at him, saying that he's not going to let him ruin everybody else's fun. But he's way ahead. His eyes over at a pile of millions of yen in cash in the corner, saying how he's rented out the entirety of the Grand for the night. He shoos the girls away, saying that he being oh so considerate for giving them a place that they can talk in private. He tells Majima to sit, introducing himself as the patriarch of the Kijin clan, Homare Nishitani.
Okay.
He gets right to business. He wants the real Makoto. He heard Majima was too hot for his boys to handle, so he's now kind of had to step in. He looks at Majima with a crazed look. I love me the strong types. So when I hear my new favorite's in a fix because he can't whack a lady, oh, my heart just bled for ya. It's almost cute, you know. He tells Majima, he very much almost gives Joker vibes in the way he talks.
Right, okay.
A little bit.
So he's an Omi big dog.
He is an Omi big dog. Oh yeah, I didn't mention this. He is also a retainer to the 5th Omi Alliance chairman. Okay. Cool. So he is on the same tier as Sagawa.
Okay.
So they are like big shots in the Omi.
I am looking forward to finding out how Sagawa feels about him. I'm not being that sarcastically. I am looking forward to that.
It doesn't seem like it would be.
No, I don't think they'll like each other.
They deserve each other, frankly.
Yeah.
He tells Majima that he, unlike everybody else, doesn't actually want to kill Makoto. He just needs to talk to her. Besides, Sagawa is too brain dead to ever figure out that body's a fake. Majima asks Nishitani why they want Makoto, but gets nothing back. Seems that, of course, Nishitani also doesn't know because he's also working for somebody else.
Good.
But Majima's welcome to try and beat it out of him. They get up, walking to the dance floor, and Nishitani socks Majima right in the face. Majima just not responding. Okay. The fuck? Nishitani looks at him, but they're in the Grand. Majima would never hit a customer. The customer's king. Mm-hmm. That absolutely tickles Nishitani. He's got a real blood chub coming on.
Ugh.
But never fear, he has just the thing. He runs to the table, grabbing his phone. Hello, coppers. This is the manager of the Cabaret Grand. I've got this whack job of a Yakuza in here right now and waving a big old knife around. He's definitely not a customer. He's a robber. Get down here quick, okay? He puts the phone down, giggling, and returns to Majima. Guess who ain't a customer anymore, Bio?
That is a great play. I really, really like that. That's really good.
Just ask the coppers. Don't tell me your manager policy extends to robbers, does it?
If only he wasn't talking about his dingus so much. I mean, Polly was talking about his wang every fucking 5 minutes.
He pulls out a knife, assuming a very loose battle stance, and it's boss time, which is a fucking great boss. He's like fucking weaves and bats around. He like chucks his knife at Majima. There's a bit where Majima like jumps up and like kicks the knife through his foot.
Cool.
It's crazy wild.
Is the
shit.
band playing during all of this?
No, nobody's here, sadly.
Ooh, out of hours.
I know, out of hours. So he ends up knocking Nishitani to the ground, and Nishitani is fucking orgasmic about it. But sadly, their time is cut short as the cops burst in, and Nishitani turns himself over.
What do you mean turns himself over to the cops?
Yeah, he just called them.
Yeah, but he told them so he'd have an excuse to fight. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
But not before Majima tries once more to get the reason why everybody's after Makoto out of him. Gotta save a little fun for next time, big boy. I've decided you're my favorite new toy. The cops put him in cuffs and take him away.
What? The cops put him in cuffs?
Yeah, and take him away.
A patriarch of the Yakuza?
Yeah.
I guess he'll just get out.
Is he just going to get out? Like, is this... Are we supposed to...
I mean, well, the thing is, the patriarchs can often get away because they are not the ones executing their crimes. They just delegate it. So they're able to pass off deniability and be like, that was my guy. It wasn't me. I didn't do it. But here the cops have just seen him fucking flying around with a knife. Like, there's no deniability. But that's also kind of what Nishitani wanted. You know, he called the cops himself.
He wanted to go to jail.
Yeah.
You said he's like the Joker. Fine, sure, whatever. Chaos Goblin. Move next.
He is a Chaos Goblin. So Majima heads up to the office where he finds Sagawa's waiting for him. In fact, he's been around since before the cops showed up. But enough about that. He wants to know why Majima didn't call him when the job was done. What happened to ABC, buddy? Always be calling.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Majima tries to play it off as him having forgotten, but Sagawa is sus. Things aren't adding up. Why smash her face in? Why leave her in her uniform? You can't tell if Majima's trying to hide who she is or broadcast it. Majima just says that he was nervous. First kill and all. He doesn't know. Get off his back, Dad. Mm-hmm. Have you talked to Shimano about letting me back in the Tojo yet? Sagawa's happy to go make that call, but first, he wants to know why he was fighting Nishitani. He kind of assumes that Majima doesn't know who he is, telling Majima that he's Omi Brass, just like Sagawa, but he's a loose cannon. Majima says he doesn't know who the guy was, just another drunk customer, and Sagawa kind of just drops it, saying that, yeah, kind of checks out for Nishitani.
Right.
But not for saying that Majima's been acting funny lately. Hope he's not keeping any secrets. But not as if he would keep anything from him. Majima still has the scars to remind him of what would happen if he did. Sagawa gets up, telling Majima he'll talk to Shimano and leave. Majima knows that this ruse will only work for so long and runs off to find Lee. But the second he's out the door, the doctor comes running to him, asking if he's seen Lee. Seems Lee was meant to come get some painkillers, but never did. He's going to run out soon, and he's oh so worried. Where is Lee? Majima tells the doctor that he's about to go see Lee and offers to take the medicine. But the doctor tells him to hurry, that if Lee runs out of the painkillers, he won't be able to move from the gunshot wounds. Majima heads to the warehouse and meets up with Lee and Makoto. He gives Lee the painkillers, but he's a bit confused, saying he doesn't really need them. Anyway, how'd it go with the phone guy?
Oh.
Makoto asks who the phone guy is, but Lee tells her that it's nothing that she needs to worry about. She doesn't like that, though, accusing Lee of hiding stuff from her. Everybody's after them because of her, and she just wants to help. Staying alone while they go out and doing everything is killing her. Majima decides to fill her in, telling her about Nishitani and how the cops got him before they could really get any info. But he does at least know that even in the Omi, they can't seem to agree as to whether to kill or kidnap her.
Why would he say that he doesn't need the painkillers? Either he already has painkillers, which means what the doctor gave us aren't painkillers, or he was never injured in the first place.
Well, we saw him get shot, so he must be injured.
So what, has he been given some poison to slip him, by mistake? Or I don't know.
He warns them that he thinks Sagawa was wise to their ruse and that they need to jump town ASAP. Makoto asks, is he not coming with them? But he tells her that this town is his prison. They'll never make it out if he's with them. Lee gets up to leave when suddenly it's the door. The doctor. He looks dejected, saying that Lee always taught him how hard it is for Chinese to live in Japan. That it always comes to money. He lets out a cry, begging for Lee's forgiveness, as 4 men walk after him, Majima's watchers. It's the 4 guys who he saw from his house at the start. That one's the little homeless guy who walks with the cart that he saw at the Grand as well. Yeah. So he's brought them to, he's ratted them out.
I mean, I didn't really have much of a relationship with this doctor.
So he gave him the pills so that they would know how to follow him.
Yeah,
so that he'd come to the doctor's office and the handlers would know how to follow him.
The old homeless one takes a crowbar and swings it, embedding it in the doctor's chest.
Oh, what?
He screams as blood spurts out and falls to the ground writhing. Seems he's played his part. Majima tells Lee to cover Makoto and finally lets loose on his prison guards. Lee runs over to the dying doctor. Take money over your countrymen. Shit, I guess I did say that. Majima tells him that he already betrayed him. Just leave and let him go. But he can't let the man die. He tells Majima to take Makoto and go while he takes the doctor to Jambalaya. Go to the Hogashi Kaikon. He has a clinic van parked there. Makoto begins crying, not sure what's going on. Majima takes her hand, saying that Lee will meet up with him soon. She looks at Majima. All this because of me? This is my fault. I'm sorry. Majima tells her that she hasn't done anything wrong and leads her outside. Of course, there's men waiting outside that Majima quickly has to deal with. They head to the clinic, and Lee quickly catches up after them. The doc is fine. They need to get in the car first. Give him a sec. Lee goes over to the car, gets in, turns the key.
Yeah, oh, nice.
And it explodes.
Bang. Bye-bye, Lee.
Kaboom. It ruptures every window in the vicinity and blows Majima and Makoto off their feet.
No. Oh.
Well, I mean, Lee was kind of a piece of shit as well. So.
Yeah, but it was interesting. Like, Lee was kind of keeping stuff plodding along here. I'm gutted about that. I really liked Lee's involvement in the story.
Yeah.
How dare this new plot development stop plot development?
Oh, now what?
Majima crawls over to see the now unconscious Makoto, begging her to stay with him. He flops to the floor, looking up to see Sagawa, gun in hand, walking towards them.
Shit.
You are the worst, buddy. How could you lie to me like that? Breaks my heart. He tells Majima that he really was going to honor his side of the deal, but then he up and does this? If Majima's going to lie to him, nothing more he can do. But don't worry, he'll make sure they both die together. He points the gun at Majima, beginning to squeeze the trigger until he stutters, looking down as blood spreads across his abdomen. Another shot causing him to drop the gun. He falls to the floor, and behind him we see a man in a grey suit. Gun raised.
We don't recognize this man.
No, we don't.
A new character.
A new character.
So this one has a goatee, this man. Slick back hair and a goatee and a pale suit.
Is quite cool.
I think it's just because of the hair and the goatee, but he looks a little bit like, Star Wars reference, Princess Leia's dad.
Oh, Bail Organa.
Bail Organa, that's what he looks like. Yeah.
Sure.
Sorry, Senator Bail Organa.
Senator Bail Organa, that's what he looks like.
Respect on that name.
Yeah.
He walks over, kneeling next to Makoto and checking she's alive. Majima reaches out, asking who he is. The man shrugs off Majima's hand, raising his gun and bringing it down on Majima's head.
Oh, great.
Not killing, just knocking out.
Just knocking out.
Cool.
End of chapter.
End of chapter. Oh no, now we're back to Kiryu. All right, okay.
Chapter 9, Ensnared. Oh, it's okay, because you wanted more Kuze.
I did want more Kuze. We get more Kuze?
It's getting a bit boring in Sotenbori, don't you think?
No. It's just finally getting good.
Do you know what I think would really cheer us up? Some nonsense. No. Some absolute
Let's
nonsense.
hop back to Kamurocho, where we see some Yakuza walking down Tenkaichi Street.
What was Kiryu doing last time we saw him? Oh, he had
He had just almost gotten shot and
by his
then
best friend.
let his best friend know he doesn't want to see him anymore.
Right,
But
sorry, so his
also,
story is
also
interesting.
remember, he's a billionaire.
Also, he's a billionaire, and there's a chicken that bowls.
Yeah.
So the men walk up to a man in a white pinstripe suit with a gold chain shirt, grabbing him. They spin him around. This ain't Kiryu. They push him to the ground, kicking him over and over. You idiot! You wearing that just to fuck with us?
The guy's like, I don't know who Kiryu is.
I just thought this look was sick.
Yeah.
I saw this billionaire wearing it once. I just wanted to imitate him.
He said it was rad.
We see the Yakuza swarming every inch of Kamurocho, pushing Kiryu's photo in people's faces, searching for him. Meanwhile, Kiryu arrives back home to find his apartment in a blaze. His neighbors panically running out, screaming to call the fire brigade. Kiryu watches as a number of Yakuza scan the crowd of onlookers and backs away silently into the dark. He heads to the Cosmo family office, hoping for a place to hide, but decides against it, knowing that he couldn't make Kashiwagi officially betray Patriarch Dojima.
Yeah, good.
He bumps into a drunk, accidentally knocking him over. The drunk begins to cause a scene, swinging at Kiryu with the beer bottle, clocking him in the eye. Kiryu worriedly looks over at a couple of Dojima boys nearby and hurriedly makes an exit. He heads over to the children's park where he sits on the bench, nursing his wound, when suddenly he's found by Reina.
Who?
Reina!
Who is Reina?
The mama from Serena.
Oh, yes, okay, got you.
okay,
Yep,
yeah.
karaoke bar owner lady. Yep.
Yeah, she knows that
Mama Reina, do you mean?
Mama Reina. She knows that Dojima's boys are out for him, and she offers to hide him at Serena.
Oh,
Good stuff.
They're besties.
Yeah.
Kiryu tries to turn her down, not wanting to cause trouble, but she won't leave Nishiki's brother to the wolves. He tries telling her that they cut ties, that she should too for her own safety, but she refuses, saying that she'll start screaming if he doesn't accept her help. He tries to apologize, and she tells him that it's the last apology she wants to hear from him.
Okay.
Besties.
Yep, cute.
yeah, I like her.
He heads to Serena, where Reina's already closed down the bar. She grabs the first aid kit, carrying to his eye, while Kiryu asks if she's heard from Nishiki. Seems he's at the Kazuma family office. He looked really upset the last she saw him. But at least Kiryu's glad he's okay. Reina comments on how both of them really make a pair. They're both worried more about the other than they are about themselves. She's envious of how close the two are. She also tells Kiryu that the police have finally come looking for him. Time's running out on that front. Suddenly, they hear the elevator ding. Nobody should be using that at this time of night, so Reina hurries Kiryu into a back room to hide. Just in time, too, as a bunch of Dojima grunts strut in. One smacks Reina in the face, knocking her to the floor, saying, "What do you take Dojima for?" shouting for Kiryu to come out. Kiryu ain't one to back down, so he comes out, apologizing to Reina for bringing him there, and then absolutely trashes the bar as he beats them down.
Oh no!
It seems like he should have tried to hide because now the Yakuza know that she definitely hid a fugitive, whereas before they thought she maybe hid a fugitive. You know.
This is not the last time that we have a brawl in here, and it gets even funnier in the later games where there's ragdoll physics, and you can absolutely just demolish every inch of this bar.
So almost every game or whatever, Serena gets destroyed, rebuilt for the next game, destroyed, rebuilt for the next game.
He's just breaking the tables and chairs. You can buy some new ones.
Oh yeah, he is a billionaire, you're right.
He is a billionaire.
Oh no.
She tries to say that she'll call the police. They may arrest Kiryu, but at least he'll be safe. But no, the police won't stop Dojima at this point. They're not going to stop until he's dead.
No.
She asks if he has nobody else he can turn to which he responds that if he did, he wouldn't have dragged her into this. She tells him that he didn't drag her into anything. In that case, can I push my luck and ask one more favor? Kiryu pulls out the pocket watch Tachibana gave him and hands it to Reina, asking her to deliver it to Nishiki and tell him to not avenge him, lest he end up in the same position. He heads outside where a dozen more goons are waiting. Breaks some femurs. The guy's explaining about how he isn't human, and he heads off. He walks down the alley, and the Dojima family have it cordoned off. Men block every way off.
Down the alley or just an alley?
No, the alley is outside that bar.
Oh, you're right. So this is the important alley.
He's headed out of the alley and finds the Dojima family have it cordoned off. Men blocking every way off the street. Kiryu looks over and sees Nishiki and Kashiwagi among the men. In front of them are the three lieutenants.
Poor Kiryu, he's got no pals. Like, he's got no friends now. I know, like, he's got his friends, but they can't actually help him. He's got no pals.
You got no pals.
And he just told his one best friend that he doesn't want to be friends with him anymore.
Because he cries too much or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, back to Pocket Racer. Call him up. He'll help.
We can take our time working you over for Tachibana's hideout later. Not that it's going to save you. Kuze walks forward, telling Awano that he can have all the credit, but Kuze wants to be the one to beat Kiryu's ass. Awano sneers. Motherfucker, he's beaten your ass like 4 times already.
Legit.
Awano sneers, saying that has he even heard from Tachibana? He's cut him loose. Kazuma's ready to drop him too. Raw fucking deal.
Surely he's coming in with the assist now. I mean, he's
It's
done
time.
so little.
Kiryu looks at him, saying that Tachibana will be the one to get the lot. And then who's going to be the one sweating? He isn't giving him up. Kuze pulls some iron knuckles out, getting into a boxer stance. Awano looks over. That cocky attitude's going to get you hurt, boy. Kuze and his friends, boss fight time!
I feel like giving up Tachibana at this point. And again, we want to remind ourselves that Tachibana, not actually that nice a guy.
No better than the Yakuza.
Give him up to the Yakuza, and I feel like the Yakuza would go, "You've done us this solid, Kiryu. Come back to daddy." Like, I feel like that could be a deal that Kiryu tries to make at least. Like, sell this guy out. Like,
Oh, to be fair, at this point, it's too far past for that.
too far, I guess they are like hunting for him across.
Yeah, at this point, even if he gives him up, they're gonna kill him.
I will also say that I know we've joked so much about this feels like a finale, this feels like a climax. This feels like a climax. The entire city is out for him, and he's about to fight the 3 lieutenants.
Something I will say that you've brought across really well, and I'm assuming comes across well in the game as well. The stakes feel high.
Yeah.
Like, the stakes do effectively feel really high.
I specifically remember you texting me right before the chapter going, they're all searching for him. What are we going to do in Kamurocho?
Well, legit, yeah. Again, it feels like the end of the game. How is there a future franchise here for Kiryu? Again, I'm sure things will get resolved in a very satisfying way. I'm anticipating that will be the case because people like this game. But this feels like a climax. Shocked to know we're halfway, if that.
If I remember right, there is a period here where like you can't do any side content. All your sub-stories are cut off. Your mini-games are cut off. It'd be your favorite part
Blessing in disguise there, love.
My theory is that, and I honestly don't know, my theory is that we're entering a point here where Kiryu and Majima swap cities. I think that's where we're heading.
Cool.
Yeah, no, another Kuze fight. He's got some ads this time.
Love it.
Got an extra health bar. It's basically the same fight otherwise.
Kuze, best character. If he's not the final boss of Yakuza 19 or whatever, like, what's even the point?
Kuze once more falls to the floor at Kiryu's feet, but he gets up, throwing a punch at Kiryu, which Kiryu just catches. Kuze can't do him. But then a man rushes Kiryu from behind, hitting him over the head with a baseball bat before handing it over to Kuze. He walks over to the now down Kiryu, ready to swing, when suddenly we hear the skid of a car's wheel in the distance. We hear an engine rev as a red car comes speeding down the street, fully just plowing through the crowd of Yakuza.
Who's this?
Amano looks over. Who the fuck? Kuze raises the bat. Kuze hasn't noticed the car. Kuze is just here to fucking smash Kiryu's head. He's like, I'm gonna paint the sidewalk with your brains. And then vroom, vroom, motherfucker, the car drives straight the fuck through Kuze and he goes over the dash into a puddle on the floor. Kuze's been run over.
He's not dead though. Kuze's great. He's like a cockroach. He always comes back.
The car skids to its stop, crashing into a telephone pole. The window rolls down as a disheveled Tachibana shouts at Kiryu to get in.
Oh, sure. Okay.
He jokes that he fears his driving is not his forte as he speeds away.
I don't know.
You did it.
Get it pretty spot on.
Awano shouts at the men to stop them, but Tachibana speeds again right through them. They try to fire shots at the car, but he speeds around a corner. Awano throws his gun at him, and Kuze, frustrated, looks on after where the car sped off. Shibusawa looks not at the car, but at them with disappointment. Look at that disheveled man.
He's doing all right.
Kind of hot.
He's all right. Well, yeah, sure, Chase. If Tachibana's doing it for you,
But only like full cutscene Tachibana, normal game engine Tachibana. I don't know about that.
normal game engine, anybody is a no, to be honest.
Except for Omelette the chicken.
Sorry, you're right.
Is this stuff we're recording to be listened to at this point, or are we just trying? I can't tell.
I can't tell. I've gone mad, and we've not even finished the first game of this franchise.
Tachibana finally comes to a stop in an underground parking complex. He tells Kiryu that the pressure from Dojima to put a hamper on his information network. He's not really been able to keep tabs on Kiryu or pass instructions to Oda. Hence his cameo as the world's worst chauffeur. Kiryu thanks him for saving his life, admitting that he'd been naive, thinking he was stronger than he was, that he'd be able to see it through on his own. But he doesn't know what to do. Everyone who's tried to help him has just ended up in the line of fire. Tachibana tells Kiryu that he shouldn't let it bother him. Tachibana believes that we need to use the people around us. That's the world he was raised in. It's the only way to survive.
Yep, sure.
The only thing that he's ever known is how to extract value from others, whether through money or force. A different world from the one that raised the gentle soul that is Mr. Punchy Hands McGee Kiryu.
I'm glad we're on the same team.
Really glad we've spent.
You get in the car and you're like, oh, thank goodness you've come, and he starts going on about, you've got to use the people around you.
It's this entire game, Kiryu's entire plot of this game is just throwing himself in front of bullet after bullet for a real estate mogul that is a scumbag. No wonder I thought nothing happens in this game, because that's all that's happened.
Monty, I'm sorry to break this to you.
What?
That's the plot of Kiryu in the entire series.
Go fuck yourself.
It's throwing himself in front of bullets for other people.
Sick of this.
I mean, it's not always for a real estate mogul.
Okay, so look, if it's for good people, sure. And the reason I kind of like, well, I don't really love Majima right now, but at least Majima's doing things for an innocent person. Yeah. You know, Kiryu just needs to wake up. Someone needs to slap him in the face.
Yeah. Kiryu asks if that's why he rescued him, just to use him, and Tachibana says, yeah.
Yeah, no duh.
He tells Kiryu that unlike...
Kiryu drooling.
Were we not friends?
Wake the fuck up.
He tells Kiryu that unlike him, who has friends who would sacrifice themselves for him, Tachibana doesn't have any friends. Those around him.
Fucking wonder. No wonder.
Pity the billionaires, for they shall be eaten first.
Those around him are only there to use him in turn. He says that Kiryu thinks of himself as an idiot. Well, he aspires to be such an idiot. Those that risk themselves to protect Kiryu are aware that he's not a man motivated by personal gain. He's someone who, once he's decided to trust somebody, is able to do so blindlessly, recklessly, heedless of the cost. He's an exceedingly rare breed of human. Mm-hmm. He regrets to admit that he's unable to risk his own life to protect Kiryu. But he can place his trust in Kiryu and his life in his hands. He apologizes, joking that maybe that's the sort of thing that should have been said after a few drinks. Kiryu tells him that the first round's on him, because they're still buddy pals.
I am counting down the minutes until Tachibana dies. I legitimately am. If there is a Tachibana game, sorry Chase, but if there's a game where we play Tachibana, I want you to skip it.
Tachibana tells him that they'll abandon the car there, but before they can, a van turns the corner. It's Oda! Even in Kamurocho, Tachibana tells him there are a few corners left beyond the Tojo clan's reach. His voice starts to become weak. We'll head there and regroup. He winces in pain, falling forward and passing out against the steering wheel.
Wait, what? Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
Well, he just kind of like had a fit, it seems, and just had a bad time of it.
Chapter 10. Okay. A Man's Worth.
It's a man's worth.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Very nice. Don't know this is a man's world.
This is a man's world. We're nothing without a woman or a girl.
What?
You've never heard that song?
Like a classic song. Like an iconic song.
We'll play it afterwards. We'll play it for you. It's been covered by a million people.
Yeah.
Okay. Tachibana lies in a bed surrounded by medical equipment. Kiryu and Oda looking on. Oda tells Kiryu to keep it quiet, but Tachibana's kidneys have been shot for years. Oda's the only one who knows.
Oh.
Oda looks over at Tachibana, and we see that the glove he always wears is covering a prosthetic hand. I feel like we weren't actually meant to have known that before. I feel like I spoiled that before. Sorry. Seems that when he lost it, he lost a lot of blood, and his kidneys haven't worked since.
Oh.
It was a rival gang that did the hack job, he says. Chinese mafia. But don't worry, he got him back in kind. That was back before the days of Tachibana real estate, when they were just a bunch of punks. Ever since then, he's needed dialysis every other day, or he'll die. So that's why he passed out of the wheels. He just needed dialysis.
That's fair enough, yeah, sure.
Which is such just...
It's not interesting, but I get it.
Kiryu's shocked that he's this sick and he's been picking a fight with the Tojo clan. But Oda reports that if he wasn't sick, they'd have already finished the job single-handedly. No pun intended. With 2 good kidneys, he wouldn't need the real estate firm or anybody else. So he tells them to relax. He can't do anything until the boss wakes up. Luckily, they're in the one place in Kamurocho that the Tojo don't have eyes. A neighborhood called Little Asia, which is, it's like a little pocket of Chinese immigrants. Specifically, it's like, we don't really get into Little Asia too much in this game. We get into Little Asia a bit more in other games. It is this crammed little, like, it's basically alleys. It is nothing but alleys. It is a shit place to live. Okay. And it's basically, the Tojo have made it so it's the only place they can live.
Feels like this game is hinting at making a point all the time. And then it just comes back around our main character's like, money, 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 I love my money. Yeah.
It's like you could make the argument that it's all about the dogmatic capitalist cycle that everybody gets locked into, whether they like it or not. You could argue that. But it doesn't. I feel like I'm writing that for the game.
I feel like the game's kind of making the point, actually, that is the right. It's good that like, capitalism is the strongest wins.
I feel like they're wanting a point from an action game that's not trying to make a point.
I am wanting a point from an action game that you and numerous people online have told me has an incredible franchise-wide story.
It does. It feels. I didn't say it's trying to tell a moral thing.
Well, I think that therefore it makes it difficult. Well, no, it's not necessarily about the moral of a story. I think that I don't want to rail too much on it because again, I am having fun and maybe I'm taking it a bit too seriously, but it makes it difficult to really empathize or give a single shit about Kiryu when he is. It's not that he's participating; it's that he's participating and then the game's going, "Good job, son. Good job. Good job. Real estate. Yeah. Oh, your best friend is a billionaire, evil." Oh yeah, and it's like, oh, well, what am I doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
Hey, let's highlight the living conditions of people who are like immigrants in the country, and we're not going to touch that at all.
For
They
90
do touch
hours.
that. See, that's half the issue as well, though, is the game insists that you do side content so much. It does touch on the living conditions of immigrants in side content.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but what does Kiryu say about it?
They do legitimately. Kiryu delves into it in later games.
Okay.
Like I will
Right.
I will tell you straight up.
so Xeno
Little
was
Asia is
central.
specifically central part of a future game. We'll get there.
Okay.
Anyhow,
Back to kidney failure.
back to kidney failure.
Where are the keyblades?
Oda tells Kiryu that neither him nor Tachibana are Japanese. They're both ex-Chinese mafia. So they don't have the papers for a legit doctor. Kiryu's kind of surprised by this, but it's not like Oda tried to hide it. It just never came up.
Yeah.
So Little Asia is protected by the Chinese mafia. The shops pay a protection fee, and because of that, they're able to make a humble living. And as long as they don't leave the patch, the Tojo will turn a blind eye. Seems that they pay the guy who runs Little Asia enough to make it worth sheltering them. Suddenly, a man walks in who Oda says works for the guy he mentioned. In Chinese, the man tells Oda that Elder Chen wants to see him in the Japanese. Seems that they need to discuss adding Kiryu's protection to their agreement. Basically, the entire time Kiryu's here, they very rarely speak in Japanese.
Yeah.
It's very, we don't want Kiryu to hear what we're saying.
Yeah.
They go to leave, Kiryu taking one last look at Tachibana. As he leaves, the camera pans down, showing a tattoo on Tachibana's left arm of a bat.
So
Monty's just put his sunglasses down.
So Tachibana sold
Human trafficker.
sold one of our favorite characters into slavery, basically.
The one sympathetic character in the entire game, Tachibana, is responsible for her heartache. Sorry, for her trauma.
Let's go and wiggle his tubes a wee bit.
This was, I will be very open about this. This was the moment when I stopped, and it's not because the game lost me. This was the moment when I went, I'm actually kind of enjoying this, and I messaged you telling you it's finally got me, it's gripped me, it's hooked me.
I remember you being annoyed at finding out who had it.
Human trafficker Tachibana has the bat tattoo.
Anyhow,
He's our baddie.
who isn't our baddie?
No. He is.
big bad,
This is currently the worst.
Yeah,
time
we're
to
gonna
see this.
kill him at the end of Zero, and it'll be fun.
Okay.
Cannot wait till he dies.
So they head through the tight back alleys of Little Asia. The locals don't take kindly to Kiryu, asking Oda in Chinese why his company is protecting Yakuza. Elder Chen hates Yakuza, they say. Don't get cocky. You Tachibana guys seem to think that your money buys you anything back here, but it won't. Oda translates for Kiryu, saying that the man told him that Little Asia welcomes Kiryu with open arms. Paraphrasing a little bit. So they make it to a small Chinese restaurant. I'm not positive whether this is meant to be a stereotype, but every single time that we see Chinese mafia in this entire series, it is always in a Chinese restaurant. Yeah. Every single time. Yeah. I'm not sure if that's a thing. Anyhow, Elder Chen, nice older Chinese gentleman, waiting for them in this little Chinese restaurant. Oda introduces him as one of the 3 elders leading the Chinese immigrant population in Japan. It's through Elder Chen's networks that Tachibana has been able to gather information. Okay. So the Chinese immigrant community is Tachibana's information network.
Okay.
Oda asks to conduct the interview in Japanese, going to introduce Kiryu to him, but he's cut off. Chen knows who he is. He doesn't need this. It seems at one point the Chinese were on equal footing with Yakuza. That is, until Dojima and Kazuma broke the balance.
This is why the Chen is presumably okay with the mission to dismantle the power structure of the Yakuza. I mean, it's his information network that's kind of feeding into that mission, right? So he's got to be kind of okay with it.
So they were on equal footing, but then Dojima and Kazuma broke the balance. Many women and children were butchered that night, and they've been driven underground since. I don't think this has been mentioned so far. Kazuma's a hitman. I don't know if that's been mentioned. It will be mentioned in this game. It's not meant to be a twist. We're meant to kind of know that going in. Kazuma's a hitman. So
killed his way to the top.
And in fact, I think that we're meant to know at this point is Kazuma is kind of like the Tojo's main hitman.
He seems too senior for that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So yeah, basically they came in, butchered the Chinese immigrant population.
Kazuma came in and killed a bunch of women and children.
Yes.
I'm so tired.
I wish we could tally the women and children body count at this point.
Against women,
Yeah, so much, man.
And children. We clocked a bunch of kids early on.
Have you got a mini game or anything for us?
You got a talking chicken or some shit.
I take it back. I'm beginning to see why. I take it all back because it's necessary, or else people wouldn't finish these games.
I want a fucking pig on a jet ski or something. You've got to race it.
This has more torture and grimness than like a manhunt game, but at least a manhunt game has the decency to be like 5 hours long. This is like 90 hours of this shit. Nobody would finish it if it wasn't for the banter stuff. I take it back. Take it all back. Bring in the side missions.
I'm glad that I'm glad that this will make the future games.
Beat us down enough. You beat us down.
Yeah, bring back Mr. Libido.
So, ever since they were driven underground, the Chinese have been forced to watch as the Japanese economy boomed while their slums crumbled around them. Chen thus concludes that Kiryu, not welcome to stay there. Go away. He brings too much risk with everyone after his head. Oda tries to say that the same goes for him and Tachibana, but the Chinese, they won't turn their own away. Happy to turn away Kiryu. He's not one of them. Mm-hmm. You know, as much as Oda and Tachibana do pose a risk, they are Chinese, so they're like, we'll protect you guys, but that's as far as we're going.
Okay. Look, fair enough. They've been stepped on enough. Let them just look after themselves. They've not got time for this shit.
Oda tries to get through Chen, trying everything from supposed favors to offers of money, but Chen won't be bought nor moved. And as Oda's begs begin to get heated, Tachibana appears. He's out of bed, and he tells Oda to accept Chen's stance. They leave, with Tachibana suggesting to Kiryu that he shelter in West Park, where the homeless have taken up a sizable residence, perfect for hiding. He tells Kiryu that he will come for him the next day once preparations have been made. Kiryu heads over to West Park, which I don't think this is actually from Yakuza 0, but that's fine.
It's a beautiful shot.
Yeah. It's from a better game engine. So this is West Park, which
for anyone listening along, we've just got a shot on screen of one of our characters from another game walking through a park, and there are lots of tents and lean-tos set up. Presumably, this is an area where homeless people have sort of...
They've kind of congregated into like a little camp.
Yeah.
Right.
And this is where they all live. So Kiryu heads over, and he happens to run into... Remember the beginning of the game when we bought all those homeless men alcohol?
Yes.
He runs into one of them.
Oh.
And the guy is thrilled to see Kiryu. They're pals. And after hearing Kiryu's situation, he's like, you helped me out once. Come to my shelter. I got you.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
So the Yakuza have hunted Kiryu to the point that he is... I mean, I know he's literally homeless right now, but like he lives with homeless people now.
Yeah.
This is where he is now for a bit.
He's being told to hide away here. It's kind of because this is kind of seen as not many people are going to come here. It's a bit out of sight, out of mind. You know, why would the Yakuza assume he's here?
Sure. Yeah, okay.
Which this series has a lot to say on homeless people. But one of the big things that always comes up is that sense of kind of community, and they do always band together and stuff. But also the fact that they are very much the unseen.
Yeah, the depressing fact that they're absolutely right. You said it, but like out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
And human trafficker Tachibana uses them to scare people away, effectively.
Uses everyone, doesn't he?
Kiryu's new pal offers him to share shelter for the night. Wish our friend had a name, but sadly he does not.
Oh, great. Doesn't ask him?
He's got other things on his mind.
Yeah.
That night, they happen to hear a scuffle outside. Kiryu, fearing that it would be the Dojima, goes out, only to find that it's a pack of homeless hunters. Teens who just want to watch people suffer, so take it out on the least of society.
Is this a side quest?
Nope. This is main content.
Yeah, again, I begin to see why we need the side quests. Jesus, you just don't get a break playing this.
It's like the Bullingdon Club of Tokyo, doesn't it?
100%.
So Kiryu runs them out of camp, saving everybody's lives. They literally, when you see them, they're about to like cave a guy's head in.
Right, maybe this is a good time to break your killing rule, Kiryu.
No,
Homeless hunters.
Yeah, so he just drives him away.
Bring back the bondage bandit or whatever he was called.
The Bontan Hunter!
Sorry, yeah.
He's not a bandit!
He's the big fat Bontan bandit, and we bashed him with a big old baseball bat.
Ryuji go to the Bontan bandit.
I was mixing up the bandit and the dominatrix, and I got the bondage bandit.
So anyhow, Kiryu drives the homeless hunters out of the camp, saving the homeless people's lives. And when he goes back into the shelter with his friend, they sit and talk. He tells Kiryu that he's been hearing Kiryu's name a lot lately from the Dojima boys, which concerns Kiryu. The man assures him that Kiryu's worry is misplaced, and that after tonight, after what he did, not a soul in that camp would ever think to sell him out. They're going to take their debts very seriously.
Love it. Cool. What's Kiryu wearing during all this? Is he wearing his iconic white pinstripe suit?
Of course he is.
Doesn't think he's going to put like a hoodie on or something?
No.
No, okay.
Which is even funnier after that earlier scene where they fully beat
Are
up
just
a guy
going after guys
for
dressed a
wearing
bit like him. Yeah. You're right, it is an iconic look. It's already iconic.
Like, you're living with a bunch of homeless people. Surely, like, there's, old jackets or something just to cover yourself up. But, okay.
Are you ready? The next morning, Oda comes for Kiryu, telling Kiryu that Tachibana is waiting for him someplace special.
Okay.
Although he won't spoil the surprise. No. He drives Kiryu out of Kamurocho, finally, and arriving to their destination, much to Kiryu's horror, Tojo Clan HQ.
Okay.
Wait, sorry. Why is human trafficker Tachibana bringing him to the place where he's going to die, effectively?
He tells him that, as they speak, Tachibana is inside, bargaining for Kiryu's life. The only way to tie Dojima's hands is to go over his head, straight to HQ.
Okay.
Kiryu thinks that this plan's batshit fucking insane.
Yeah.
The three of them will be dead within the hour, but Oda has full faith in Tachibana, telling Kiryu that he's a Tachibana employee now. Shut up and trust the boss. Trust your human trafficker, man. Some Tojo men escort Kiryu inside, and he's brought to the main conference room. It's a big old long room. You will be very familiar with this fucking room. That just has leather armchairs along the sides, and then one at the head. Head's where the chairman sits. Sides are where all the direct patriarchs sit.
Cool.
Is this in Kamurocho?
It's in Tokyo. It is not in Kamurocho.
Cool. Okay.
This really goes to show like how public facing that everybody knows who the Tojo is. Yeah. This is a massive, traditional, ornate building. They're not trying to hide. It is an estate. And everybody, I'm fairly certain it's in the middle of a residential neighborhood as well. Like, there are, like, family homes around the Tojo Clan HQ.
Is that a torii gate out the front? Do you pass through a torii gate to get inside? No, you don't. Do you? I think it's just the angle. It's just the angle. Just feels a little bit blasphemous. The whole thing's a bit, oof. It's cool. It's a great design.
Big old fancy place. Yeah. So Kiryu's escorted and brought in, and inside sits Tachibana, and at the other end of the room, the acting second chairman of the Tojo Clan, Takashi Nihara. I would like to note the acting. That will become important later. He is not the chairman. I believe he was the chief of HQ prior to the second chairman's death, and he is just holding the place for him. Right. Until, I think that he died when there wasn't a captain selected. Okay. Nihara tells Kiryu that his eyes remind him of a younger Kazuma, suggesting they have a long history. They get started with Tachibana saying that he simply wants Tachibana and Tojo to coexist. Nihara would agree, saying that he welcomes all to Kamurocho, at least all with a fear and respect for the Tojo crest. Tachibana assures him that they have the utmost respect, wanting to show deference in material form, in exchange for one simple favor, that the Dojima family pursue Kiryu no more. Hearing the circumstances of Kiryu's situation, Nihara still sees no reason to help Tachibana, saying this is just going to put a blocker in Dojima's ways of obtaining the empty lot, which is a bad deal because, the bulk of that money is ultimately going to come back up in tithes to Tojo HQ. So that's money lost to the Tojo. Tachibana shifts back, asking if it's true that Dojima is the top owner of the Tojo, with power surpassing even the acting chairman. As such, it currently seems reasonable that in the near future, Sohei Dojima is going to become the third chairman of the Tojo Clan.
Is that a play, or is he spitting facts there?
That is facts.
Wow, okay.
That is straight fact. If Dojima gets the empty lot, he will be the third chairman.
Yikes.
And that is definitive. At this point in time, Dojima's family has a behemoth lead on anybody else in the Tojo. in terms of power. They are the definitive power in Kamurocho.
Okay.
And arguably, Dojima himself holds the most power even above Tojo HQ. Probably second, probably with the Shimano family being the only one behind him.
We haven't met the Shimano family.
We've been referenced to the Shimano family quite a bit.
Right.
Shimano was Majima's old patriarch.
Yes. Gotcha.
And he's the one who Sagawa was going to try and get him back in before all that shit.
Cool.
We'll get to Shimano later.
Sure.
Because we need more characters.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Oh, you're gonna.
Half of these old men are going to be dead by the time we get to Yakuza 1.
You're gonna love it because we start getting things like characters introduced in the last 10 minutes.
Oh, no, we don't. Sick of it.
Dojima knows all this, and securing the empty lot would only further raise his standing. And if he were that high, would he continue to respect his superiors in the clan, including Nihara? Simply put, Dojima acquiring the empty lot could see dramatic changes to the Tojo as they know it. Nihara sees no risk. He thinks Dojima will remain subservient, regardless, to which Tachibana tells the acting chairman that anybody blinded by such short-term consequences is unfit to lead such a grand organization.
Jesus Christ.
Tachibana not playing around. The mood's tense, tension's high, when suddenly there's a knock at the door, breaking the tension. Tachibana's gift has arrived. Oda walks in carrying a massive metal briefcase, lying it on the floor in front of Nihara and opening it. Inside, 500 million yen, a payment for Kiryu's life, with another 500 million to be added when Tachibana is confirmed the Dojima men have stopped.
Kiryu's like, if it was that easy, I would have paid. I've got billions.
Further, he offers up 30% of the real estate firm's profit to Tojo Clan HQ.
That is one hell of a deal.
For Kiryu's life.
For Kiryu's life.
Why is he so invested in Kiryu? Kazuma, innit?
Because Thingbee will, it makes it harder for them to get the lot and ultimately power, right?
Yeah. So Nihara is shocked by the high price, as you were, and the fact that Tachibana seems to hold Kiryu in such regard. Looking at Tachibana and telling him that his reputation stands true, he really knows how to get a Yakuza to open his legs. He looks over at an officer by the door, telling him to tell Dojima that Kazuma Kiryu is Tojo HQ's properties now. Oh. Hands off.
Well, that's that. Sorted.
Yeah. Tachibana thanks the acting chairman, and with a deep bow, the three men leave. But Nihara calls out to Kiryu as he approaches the door. He asks if he knew the type of Yakuza Kazuma was at his age, describing him as, in a word, unrivaled, strong and fearless. Even he admired how dauntless he was. He refined what it meant to be a man. If he could go back in time and buy him for $1 billion, he wouldn't a heartbeat. He looks at Kiryu. Are you a man worth $1 billion yen as well? Kiryu bows again, leaving the office.
How many children have you killed, Kiryu?
Yeah.
I am looking forward to, because he's obviously been so built up despite being off screen, I'm looking forward to finally meeting Kazuma. I wonder if we do this game. It feels like we ought to, considering he's the spectre at the feast, really. But
What?
The spectre at the feast, like it's Shakespeare. So it's the Kazuma's like he's a character. He's here. He's present. He means so much, and he's actually a bit of a distraction from the main plot because despite not being on screen, he's a big deal in the story despite not being on screen. Anyway, what's human trafficker Tachibana up to?
Well, so they leave the room and head off to the foyer, where they're greeted by a number of men with weapons.
What?
Why?
Kiryu remarks that he guesses Tachibana's money didn't buy them the right to walk out the door.
Why?
Wait, so Nihara was like, "Thank you for the money, Kiryu." His hands off on Kiryu.
Just not yet.
Well, no, he says Dojima's hands off Kiryu. Tojo can do whatever the fuck they want.
But he's Tojo property.
Right, so the hit's not Dojima anymore. It's Tojo.
We'll get there. So Oda thinks.
Tired.
Just stop. Just people need to start speaking straight and stop lying.
I have the answer in the next bullet point.
Sorry.
Oda thinks that they're stabbing in the back, but Tachibana and Kiryu get it. This is protocol. They walk the gauntlet, and the Tojo will hold their end of the bargain. Okay. Kiryu jumps off the balcony, landing in the center of the men in a fight stance.
Right, it's Dragon Ball. I will test your fighting, and you will.
Yeah, it's basically, I'll happily take the steal, but you just got to prove you're worth it.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, prove you're worth $1 billion yen.
So they fight their way through Tojo HQ. Weirdly, they come out. The way that Tojo HQ is structured is it's kind of like a big square. They're like right here. The front door's here. They come out, fight the men here, and instead of going out the front door, They go back through the back, wind their way through Tojo HQ, go out to the backyard, which is a lovely traditional garden.
Oh, lovely.
Very pretty, lots of lakes and rivers. Go through the back garden, come back into the building, fight their way back to the entrance, and then finally out into the courtyard.
So it's not as simple as proving your worth against a horde. It's prove your worth against a horde and then hunt for the rest of the horde in my building.
I really want you to...
I love a good game of hide and seek.
I really want you to wreck my defenses for the next 6 weeks.
I'm fully convinced that it's just the developers went, well, we made Tojo HQ. We
a
want people
dungeon.
to see it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Look, totally fair, fine.
they fight their way out. I have a lovely place for a 3-on-300 battle, really. But they managed to make it out to the gate.
I can see that being quite an epic part of the game. Is it? Oh, it's actually a bit underwhelming. It's like, whatever.
It's okay. Yeah. It's another dungeon.
Fair enough.
It's okay.
I think if it was...
To be fair, I feel like it was quite cool the first time I did it. I feel like I've just fought through Tojo HQ so many times in so many games that
Oh, good.
I'm less than enthused by it at this point.
If you're less than enthused...
Good to know the next chairman's like, I'm going to get you, Kiryu, or whatever, and the next one after that, and...
Well, you'll see.
Okay.
Who knows?
We'll probably be chairman at one point, don't forget.
They make it out of the gate, and Kiryu takes one last glance back, seeing Niharu's come out to see the outcome. He runs off, with the acting chairman commenting that he can see why Cosmo took an interest. He, too, may turn into a real monster one day.
But I don't think he will.
No, he won't. We're playing as him, so...
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be a child and woman murderer.
Yeah.
Scene shifts, and we're at the Dojima office, where Dojima is telling Shibusawa the news from HQ. Seems Shibusawa saw it coming, though. Something Kuze and Awano didn't. And he thinks that he can see how Tachibana plans to use Kiryu next, too. Dojima chuckles, saying that he sees. Shibusawa is tired of waiting his turn and holding back around Kuze and Awano. Shibusawa takes off his glasses, the smart guy persona leaving him.
Well...
The empty lot will be yours, boss, and I'll be the one to hand it to you.
Oh.
This is his little boss bit now.
go, yeah.
We've done the other two.
Yeah.
Love it.
Scene shifts again, and we're at the docks. Tachibana is looking out over the water with Kiryu, finally taking a moment to rest. But Kiryu needs to know, why pay 1 billion yen for him? Tachibana wants to overpower the Tojo, but he's just sold himself out to it. Does Tachibana have another motive? Does the empty lot mean something more to him than just power? Tachibana chuckles, saying that it's a trade secret.
Right.
Kiryu responds, a trade secret you can't tell an employee?
I mean, you're just a bodyguard, really, Kiryu.
No, he's a real estate agent.
You're right, I forgot about it. The
Real
fact
estate billionaire.
forgot about that.
Kiryu asks what the next move is, and Tachibana tells him that he's finally located the owner of the empty lot in Osaka's pleasure district, Sotenbori.
Oh.
But another faction's already in pursuit there. They can't make their move. Tachibana suspects somebody from the Shibusawa family also knows the identity and location of the lot's owner, and has already made their move. And not only Shibusawa, the Omi Alliance seem to be making moves as well. With that, Sotenbori is even more dangerous than Kamurocho.
Theory.
Makoto
is the owner of the lot.
Maybe.
She has, it'll be like Indeeds or some shit, but like that's why everyone's after her.
Makes sense.
I don't even think that human trafficker Tachibana realizes.
She's the only other person who we know is being pursued and we don't know why.
Yeah. I don't think even he knows that it's her, that he sold her one day. But sorry, continue.
Kiryu's done staying still, though, done playing safe. He knows Tachibana can't go far from his dialysis machine, and he's headed to Sotenbori whether Tachibana wants him to or not. Oda comes over, saying that he's going as well. This is their only chance. They can't play it safe anymore. Tachibana tells him this isn't a company order, so whatever happens, don't expect any workers' comp.
Yeah, okay.
That's
a funny joke.
Zoinks.
Oh my gosh, you predicted it. They're going to the other city?
Well, no, but like the fact that they're going to swap. Majima is going to come here. 100%. Kamurocho. Yeah.
Pass each other on the train.
Well, because the main plot isn't Kamurocho. Like...
Yeah.
They drive Kiryu back to Kamurocho, telling him to meet them at Chen's Chinese restaurant when he's ready. So Kiryu does the only prep anyone would need to do, buying a solid gold statue of himself, fanning himself with money.
Every time I want to like this guy, he does something like this.
The quality of the gold, it's a nice touch. And he really gave them detailed directions on the design. It's pretty tasteful.
Is it, or is it gauche?
Tasteful isn't the words that came to mind.
I would argue it's the absolute opposite of tasteful. It is tasteless.
This is a thing you can only buy after you have completed the real estate thing, he puts it in his office, his real estate office, and I think it costs him like 10 billion yen. So technically, the statue costs 10 times what Tachibana paid for him.
Wow.
I did say I wanted more side stuff, so yeah, thank you for this.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Again, you're absolutely right, Neil. I'm looking forward to Yakuza 1 when billionaire Kiryu is still
Yeah. Well, he's got a statue worth 10 billion, so even if he loses it all, he can just sell the
Sell the
statue for
statue,
10
yeah.
million. Yeah.
Melt that down, and that's your worth right there. Right, next.
That important errand over and done with.
Yeah.
Kiryu heads for Chen's Chinese restaurant where Tachibana and Oda are waiting for him. Tachibana tells Kiryu that the lot's owner is currently in the care of an organization allied to their cause. An organization that, of course, Oda will tell us later, because why would we ever need to know that now?
What's the timelines here of Majima's storyline and Kiryu's storyline? Are they happening parallel to each other?
Decently so. There's like a little wibble wobble, but it's usually by like hours, not even by days.
So it's not like some big twist coming where it's like, the Majima plot happened 2 weeks ago, or whatever. No, okay, cool. That's fine.
They are decently concurrent. You know, especially as they kind of like try and... I think there was a bit more wobble in the earlier ones where they didn't really mingle much, but especially now that we're coming to them starting to converge, it's basically spot on. Anyhow, Osaka is the Omi's backyard, so they ain't staying hidden for long. They need to be quick and stealthy extracting the lot's owner. Tachibana continues to tell Kiryu that the trade secret behind why the lot holds so much importance for him will be revealed soon, but only after he returns to Kamurocho. As for the lot's owner... she's a young woman, one who Tachibana has been told is visually impaired, functionally blind.
Cool.
The owner of the empty lot, drum roll please, is Makoto Makimura.
Oh.
Cat, I remember the first time I played this being shocked at this moment and not at the moment I should have been 30 seconds ago when he tells him that the owner is in Sotenbori because I'm dumb.
Look, fair enough. I mean, I think I got quite lucky with that guess, and to the game's credit, that is a good twist. I think that I wouldn't have called that if he hadn't mentioned.
No, you
Shizuoka.
managed to go like 50 hours without guessing it, to be fair, so...
Yeah. Right, really feels like we're 3 chapters
Yeah.
tops from the end of the
There we
game.
go, end of the game.
All
Here we go,
all questions
everyone.
have been answered. No more mysteries. Kiryu, no one's trying to kill Kiryu.
Baddies.
All we need now is just for
So how's Makoto doing? Chapter 11, a murky riverbed.
This will be a short one, I can feel it.
The fires of the exploded car still blaze on as a man in a white suit kneels down looking at Makoto. He picks her up, walking away as Sagawa looks on, unable to do anything to stop it.
It's actually Kiryu wearing a Halloween mask.
Though this one's not pinstripe.
Shit, yeah, you're right.
This one's just, I actually don't even think it's white. I think it's like gray.
And he's wearing a tie too. We haven't seen Kiryu wear a tie before.
It's true. He's too professional. This could be like a desktop wallpaper.
For who?
I don't know. It just kind of it gives the vibe.
Well, Majima's comatose body.
I like the way the old engine fog works, where his hair specifically is seemingly clipping through the fog, but the rest of his body isn't.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah. Anyhow, time passes and Majima is once again tied up in a warehouse, beaten and bruised.
Oh god. He's having flashbacks.
Nope, this is current. Sagawa punches him in the gut, telling him that he tried to warn him to get as far as he could without killing, but he just had to go and take the hit job. But he didn't have what it takes. Look, Sagawa gets the sentiment. He's been there. He tells Majima that once upon a time he found a bird, tried to nurse it back to health behind his parents' back, but a kid can't play his parents. Next day he came home and found them feeding it to his cat.
Ugh.
He watched his beloved pet die before his eyes.
Oh.
Majima spits. Sure, Sagawa was a model son, yeah? Oh, sure, a model son, at least in front of them. Next day, I killed their cat. Sagawa takes a baseball bat, lining it up for a swing against Majima's cheek. He taps it a couple times, then draws it back to take the swing, stopping it an inch from his face. He leans in close, and sure as shit, I'll kill you too.
I thought Sagawa got shot like 3 times at the end of the last chapter with Majima.
Debilitating shots, not fatal shots.
Right, okay.
They were like,
Yeah, I think in this,
I
I'm
think
getting
like
the sense that in this game series, unless we see a head explode, we'll just assume they're fine.
Oh, you think Lee's still alive?
We saw Lee explode
Okay, well, we saw the car explode.
after Lee sat in it and turned the car key.
I mean, they're the deaths that people walk away from, though. Getting shot, it doesn't matter. I'm being a pedant. Continue.
He's cool guys walking away from explosions.
Yes, he seems like a cool guy.
No, I'm pretty sure Sagawa took like one to the thigh, one to the shoulder kind of thing.
Cool, fair enough.
You know, painful, debilitating, but not gonna kill him.
I'd rather be like, Majima, do you know that man? We need to go and get Makoto, etc. He's like, I'm just going to torture my slave for a bit. Lol.
No, he needs to make sure he's threatened. So, but first, Majima gets to live another day and go, and he's sent off to go find out who the fuck
Wait,
this guy
Sagawa sends him off to go and do this.
Yeah.
He already knows that he'll betray him at the first chance.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, that's why he came back and hit him with a baseball bat.
Yeah, but that's not gonna. That's already not worked. You tried that for years. You already know that doesn't work.
He's just a bad handler.
Sagawa thinks that they're besties, and he wants this man to do it.
I'll tell you one thing. Yakuza does the friendship thing a lot worse than Kingdom Hearts does it. Like, Kingdom Hearts,
trying to do
in Kingdom Hearts, friendship
Yeah,
is
to be
magic.
fair.
In this series, people are thinking they're friends with bloody old lampposts on the street. Like,
They're not trying to do a friendship thing here.
No, I'm just saying.
The only friendship thing we've gotten so far is Kiryu and Nishiki, which was quite sweet.
No, okay, the Kiryu-Nishiki relationship was fine until Nishiki just tried to kill his best friend, and then Kiryu went, "You're crying too much, you baby." I'm being very reductive.
Yeah,
I am.
yeah.
It was actually a beautiful moment. Yeah, you're right. Sorry. Continue. Right, Majima's off to find Makoto.
So
This won't take 5 minutes.
Sure, we'll not have to find someone who wasn't quite there, and then it was actually someone else that hired them.
he tells Sagawa has told Majima that this guy who took Makoto, he doesn't know him, so he's probably not from Osaka.
Right.
Majima tries once again to find out why the fuck anybody wants Makoto, which is now very funny now that we all know. And Majima literally, I think it's like a straight up like 3-4 more chapters before Majima finally gets told. Like Majima just kind of gets fucking dragged around.
I guess he doesn't care.
No, he does care.
Oh, does he?
He cares a lot.
Right, okay.
Majima doesn't know who has the bat tattoo, and he doesn't know why Makoto's important.
Oh, I guess he cares about the bat. He would care about.
Yeah, we have all the information that Majima doesn't have, so it kind of makes the next bit where he learns it a bit, whatever.
Just catching up.
Yeah.
Turns out, Sagawa also doesn't know.
Good.
Hey.
Because you know who told him to get Majima to kill Makoto? Shimano.
Shimano told him to get him to kill.
So Shimano gave him slave Majima and then went, "Hey, remember that slave I gave you? Have him kill Makoto."
Okay, right, got
So
you.
Shimano seemingly knows,
Interesting.
but Sagawa doesn't. Majima brings up the fact that kind of seemingly like Nishitani, Mr. Whitesuit doesn't seem to want Makoto dead.
Right.
You know, he would have offered, not brought her away from the explosion cool guy style. So maybe he's in on it with Nishitani? Well, Nishitani's in prison, but yeah, boy seemed hip to the jive, so there you go. Off you go.
Yeah.
He heads over, starting right to the Kijin clan office, cool as cake, demanding Makoto, but they ain't talking. Gotta butter him up with his fisties. I don't know why the fuck I wrote that line like that.
That was a late night line there.
Butter him up with his fisties.
Anytime you see the word fisties in the script, it was probably 1 a.m. when I was writing. But even with the violence, the Kijin clan has no, and this is again the guy who kept like getting more bandages. That's who this is. He has no clue.
Does he ever get a name, this guy? Is he...
I think he
Oh,
does.
don't worry, it's fine.
I don't remember what it is. I didn't want to overload you guys with names anyway.
Totally.
And at this point, I don't fucking remember.
No, I think this game needs more characters, to be honest.
But they don't know where Makoto is, and they don't have any clue who Mr. Whitesuit is. So they're like, you gotta go ask Nishitani himself. So I guess we gotta be put in prison. The Yakuza tell Majima to go talk to a detective named Billiken. He's Nishitani's liaison with the police, so maybe he can sneak Majima in. Because every criminal has their own direct liaison with the police.
Yeah. Sure. It's Yakuza stuff, I get it.
Majima finds this Billiken over smoking on Bishamon Bridge. He sees Majima for the enemy that he is, and he ain't too keen to bring him in. But decides that he at least gets the pleasure of a drink. He looks over the bridge. Timing's perfect, see? Boat's right there. A small pleasure barge goes down the river. So I guess it's time for a drink? They get on the barge, and They get on the barge and sit down for a drink. Billiken knows that Majima is Nishitani's enemy, but there's loads of types of enemies. There's enemies who want you on the ground, but there's also enemies who could have been friends if things had worked out differently, and he wants to know which is which. Majima tells him that he only just met Nishitani, but Billiken has known Nishitani since he was a baby. Never seen a baby so good at shoplifting. By kindergarten, he was picking pockets and swiping stray bags, shakedowns in elementary school, breaking into cars by middle school. Majima isn't surprised, asking if that means that it was armed robberies by high school. Billiken pours himself another cup. He stabbed a guy to death. That was high school.
Yikes.
Guess he skipped a few grades, says Majima.
Majima, pack it in. Just 5 minutes.
He asks Billiken what leads a detective to serve as a point man for a guy like that. Before he can get an answer, though, the boat jerks to a stop. Almost mechanically. Suddenly, the floor of the boat begins to lower into the ground.
What is happening?
Billiken calmly continues sipping his sake. What's a drink without a show? They're in a glass elevator under the boat,
All right, Wonka.
sinking through the Sotenbori River.
Amazing.
He tells Majima that they're headed for the bed of sticks.
Okay.
Okay. What?
This one's great. I fucking love it.
Is this spy shit?
Yeah.
What's going
The
on?
thing like jerks to a stop and then just like the floor lowers.
Excellent.
Yeah. All right, keep going.
Don't know how nobody's been able to see this in the river. Doesn't look like it's very deep under there, but sure, whatever.
Nope. Next. What's happening? Where are we
Especially
going?
since, to keep this waterproof, would that not need to be sticking out above
Chase,
the water?
you've got us on tenterhooks here. Where are we going? What is the bed of sticks?
They get out going through a series of tunnels that Bill can tell. Because you know what the bed of sticks? Do you want to guess what the bed of sticks is? Do
I would
I don't know.
you want to guess what the bed of sticks is?
Another side quest?
like what the name means, or
Oh my god, is it actually?
It's a mini game.
No, it's not. Are you joking?
They get out going through a series of tunnels that Billiken tells Majima were dug back during the war before he came out and made a few changes. Well, conned some rich pricks into doing it for him, technically.
right.
The place doesn't have any official name, but those in the know call it the Bed of Sticks. This, and he opens a heavy steel door, is where criminals become executioners. It's a fight arena.
Okay, cool.
I think it's really cool, yeah. Okay, well, you're right.
It's a fight arena filled to the brim with people here to watch criminals fight each other to the death.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so it's a Coliseum minigame.
Excellent.
Almost every Yakuza game has a Coliseum minigame. They needed to chuck one in somewhere.
It's a side quest I will never skip in a video game, to be honest. Any game
And this
ever.
isn't even a side quest. It is his main fucking story. But yeah, so this is a massive big arena, bright lights. You see people betting on the walls. They're putting the odds up.
Yeah.
People flashing their money. Billiken says that this world's full of criminals the law can't touch. Killers without the evidence to nail them. Terrorists walking free because they got friends with the right politicians. And they get sent here. Survive a year, and they can go back up topside. No rules. Cheat, kill, anything's fair game. So Billiken's a sleazy old cop.
Yeah.
This is his idea of justice. And the spectators, I mean, who ain't gonna cough up big bucks to watch somebody fight for their very life?
So you say that the Bed of Sticks comes back in future games. This is like our...
The Bed of Sticks itself, as far as I remember, the Bed of Sticks itself does not come back. I was saying that every game has a Coliseum minigame.
No. We never deal with the underground.
Glass elevator.
like
Yakuza
prisoner-
0 invents a glass elevator that takes you down to a murder fight club for
Prisoners are
criminals.
forced to fight.
And it never returns to this.
To be fair, keep in mind that the other games have already happened. So if somebody saw the boat go down, they wouldn't be wowed by it. It wouldn't be a surprise because they'd be
Well, I
like,
guess
oh,
if you've
well, I
got
already know the Bed of Sticks.
yeah, okay. It's just this is awesome. Do more with this.
Oh,
do a boss fight in here.
There is.
Oh, is there? Sick.
Well, you've not let me finish.
Sorry.
We've just gotten here.
Okay.
Okay.
Billiken tells him that this is just a underpaid cop's little thing on the side.
Okay.
Sure.
But the matches have been getting a bit boring recently. Not enough fresh meat. And when people are getting bored, their wallets are drying up. Now that's where Majima comes in. Spice it up for a few fights, and maybe, just maybe, Billiken will let him see Nishitani. So he needs to go 3 rounds. First round versus the Cannibal Clown, the serial killer who ate all the evidence. It's Ginger Chapman.
Beg your pardon?
Yeah.
Majima eats him for breakfast.
No, he doesn't.
Round 2. The pleasure-killing practitioner who passed his patients' deaths off as natural causes. It's Dr. Kirihito. Majima gives him a prescription for pain.
Okay.
Round 3. It's the legend himself, the world champion of accidental in-fight deaths. The Reaper of the Ring, immune from the law. It's Dead Puncher. Majima dead punches him to death.
Well, I loved how those descended. There was only one actual pun, and then the second one, kind of not a pun.
Dead punches to death. I've had it.
Okay, so that's as far as this goes for main story. You can come back here. They have full challenge matches, challenge fights, timer things, weapons only, no weapons, guns only, yada 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 yada. Heaps of shit in here. But we're done here.
Fun.
We've played his game. Time for Nishitani. They ride back topside, and Majima remarks that he's surprised something like this exists. Billiken tells that the dirty water serves a function when it hides things. Sometimes it's best when you can't see the bottom. A little dirt can hide away ugly truths. The stuff people don't want to see.
Good bit of metaphor there. That's a little bit of imagery. I appreciate that.
He takes a long, slow draw from his cigarette, looking out over the river. So you know he's dramatic. Years back, the body of a high school gal came floating up to the surface. Poor thing's face was beat unrecognizable. Body stabbed a few dozen times.
I think our tally's at 50, by the way, for children. Yep. Continue.
Victim came from a single-parent home. A dad raising his little princess best as he could. But they couldn't find the perp. At least not until a year later. A street punk minor. No court, no hard time. Got out of juvie and back on the streets like nothing happened. A couple weeks later, that kid was dead with a couple dozen stab wounds. But not from the dad. That was from Nishitani. Seems Nishitani had been in the care of the victim's dad. Could only see how bad he was hurting. Some people are just born to be monsters. Some jobs only a monster can do. Not jobs that will earn you thanks, but jobs that will make those living on the right side's lives better. After he realized what Nishitani did what he did, the old dad went and built the bed of sticks. Now, he's Nishitani's liaison with the Force. Billiken walks off. Time to talk to Nishitani. Yeah, so Billiken was...
Oh, sorry, Nishitani did not kill his daughter.
No, Billiken was fostering Nishitani
Yes.
when his daughter was stabbed to death. Nishitani went out and stabbed the guy who...
Got you.
So that was the kill he did in high school, was avenging Billiken's daughter.
My bad. Okay, sorry. I thought the kill he did in high school. Yeah, I get you. Cool.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. Okay.
So Billiken brings him by the station, tied up by a rope, which is very amusing because it is literally like a single... very loose rope tied around his waist. His arms are not tied. What? It's just a loose rope around his waist, and he kind of walks him like a dog.
Amazing.
And he bribes the jail guard, and then puts Majima in the cell, and him and the guard head off for some tea. You know, what they won't see won't hurt anybody, eh? He finds Nishitani napping in the back of the cell. And Majima just kicks him to the face to wake up.
There are a lot of men in here. Oh, this is a holding cell, is it?
Yeah, it's a cell.
Yeah.
Nishitani is thrilled Majima's here. Just thinking about their fight last time had him leaking.
Ugh.
And the cops showed up and ruined it before the climax? Fucking cock blocks.
Oh, he's such a gross...
So horny.
Like, there's horny and then there's whatever this is.
Majima tells him that Makoto's been taken, wanting to know if it was his man. Nishitani groans. A business call. Boo!
I can see why this is your favorite character. He's so
You.
No, I love how bored he is with everything and kind of just wants excitement, and yeah. He's the most entertaining of all of the bosses that we've seen.
He waves over one of his boys who gives him a cigarette, lighting it for him before offering one to Majima and lighting his. Anyway, Mr. Whitesuit, not a pal of Nishitani, and he has no clue who the guy is.
Of course not.
No, why would
party.
he?
But it seems they're third party, neither side.
Yeah.
The prison guard shows back up, giving Nishitani an ashtray. Nishitani thanks him. Tell him to go buy some drinks. Something nice, eh? He has company. So this guard is fully just in Nishitani's pocket. He's Nishitani's fucking butler.
He's actually off to just, yeah. Okay.
He's off to go buy Nishitani some drinks. He's got company.
Okay.
Welcome to Nishitani's safe house. Safest safe house in Japan, even. Best security the taxpayers can buy for him. Nobody's coming to Nishitani without weapons. And they sure as hell ain't getting them in here. He sleeps like a fucking baby.
Okay.
Good for him.
Anyway, yeah, he's pretty sure that he knows Majima's guy. And maybe he'll even tell him. Or maybe he won't. Majima tells him that he better, or the next fucking beatdown won't be half as fun as the last.
Oh my god, kick his ass.
That gets Nishitani rock fucking hard.
Oh.
His juices are flowing. Is Majima threatening him with a good time? Anyway, Majima beats him off. I mean down.
You were so proud of yourself when you wrote that. I could feel it. I could feel the energy in the room. I don't like the energy.
Seems that they're starting to see eye to eye now. Even maybe a bit pally. Nishitani tells him to fuck Sagawa and come work for him. Anyway, third party. White suit, they're Tojo. A group calling themselves the Nikyo Consortium. But they ain't flashing the Tojo crest around. They're completely underground. Makoto-chan is probably with the Nikyo group's president himself, Masaru Sera.
She's now with this other faction
In the Tojo
in
clan.
the Tojo clan,
But it's an underground secret faction.
led by Sarah.
It's not connected to any of the lieutenants or characters in the Tojo clan we met
This
so
is
far.
separate from the Dojima.
Brand new family. Yeah.
Almost 2/3 through.
Seems a couple days ago, Nishitani got word that Sera was in town with his boys. Majima wonders why there's 2 Tojo groups gunning for Makoto, but no, Nishitani tells him 3 groups.
What?
You're forgetting about human trafficker Tachibana.
No, that's not Tojo. He means 3 groups in the Tojo.
Oh god, so it's 4 groups.
Dojima, the Nikyo, and then remember Shimano was the one who told Majima to do the hit.
Oh yeah, you're right, yeah.
So Shimano's also Tojo. So there's 3 separate groups in there. But he tells him that his personal orders, Nishitani's orders to go get Makoto, they came from one lieutenant of a certain Dojima family, Mr. Shibusawa.
Oh, glasses man.
That's his man. He's got his fingers over in Sotenbori.
Very good. You called that you would play a larger role.
Oh, did I?
It was 4 games ago.
It was all so long ago. Anyway.
So you were right about them swapping places then?
Yeah, because that's where he's going now, isn't it? He's gonna, yeah.
Anyway, Nishitani knows where the Nikyo are, but he ain't telling Majima. To be fair, they aren't the kind of fucks you take on alone. They do the work that even the Tojo don't want their names on. Black Ops shit. They're like the CIA or the Soviet KGB. But the 2 of them team up, well, that sounds like a bit more stimulation. Oh, and that job offer worked for Nishitani, and he won't hurt a pretty little hair on Makoto's head. Majima declines, though. Sarah didn't look like he was going to kill her either. So, as long as he knows, he doesn't have to worry. If all he cared about was keeping the girl alive, he would just leave Makoto with him. But the underworld already fed off that girl more than enough. Took her goddamn sight away. He couldn't kill Makoto. That means that he has to take responsibility for keeping her alive. And not just breathing, but living a real life as a real person. Hearing that gets Nishitani all sentimental. Why couldn't he have met a guy like Majima years ago? And he caves. The Nikyo are in a place called the Camellia Grove, an old traditional historic district, specifically in a hotel called the Ben 10 Inn. Nishitani's ready to get this party started, and he's coming with. He calls the guard over, telling him that it's checkout time, but nobody answers his call.
Oh.
It doesn't matter, though. The door's unlocked. Door's unlocked. He lets himself out.
Sure. Yeah, no worries.
Before they can get out, though, they see Billiken. He slowly shambles towards them. Nishitani looks at him. Uncle B? Run, Nishitani, he gasped out before collapsing to the ground. Blood from a gunshot wound on his back pouring out of him.
Oh. Who's here trying to kill him?
Nishitani runs to him, but he's stopped as the jail guard rounds the corner, gun aimed at him. Someone from Tokyo has paid him off. Told them he'd pay them 100 times what Billiken bribes him to shoot the 2 of them. Nishitani demands to know who bought him off, but is answered only by the sound of a gunshot. His hands go to his stomach and pull away, covered in blood.
What?
Nishitani got shot!
Stomach wound. It's fine.
Yeah.
Just like the old man said, make mischief long enough and it'll bite you in the ass. He gets between the guard and Majima, telling him to bust as many skulls as he can, and I'll fucking blast doing it. Yakuza dying early is part of the deal, so enjoy it while you can, and blaze your path on your own terms, right? The guard screams, "Why aren't you dead yet?" and shoots Nishitani twice more in the torso, but he's still standing. The guard goes to fire again, but his gun locks. He's out of shots. "Hurry it up, Majima!" Nishitani grunts out. "Makoto's life is your responsibility, so make fucking good on it, go!" Nishitani begins shambling slowly towards the guard, who's now fallen to the ground, begging for forgiveness. Majima runs out the door, and all we hear is the desperate screams of the guard.
That guard is the world's worst assassin. Shot him 3 times in the stomach, cried a bit, and then went, "No, please, no," to the injured man.
Hit him with your gun!
Like, punch him in the face, do anything, kick him in the balls. Like, I don't know. I will say that entire scene has won me over quite a lot to Nishitani.
Oh, Nishitani's great.
That entire sequence has won me over a bit. Still a bit of a grotty freak, but yeah, really enjoying his backstory.
His whole thing is basically that he's gonna die soon anyway, so he might as well just enjoy what he's doing.
I'm slightly worried that, again, I don't know how old he's supposed to be because he looks like he's 40, but I'm worried that all these characters are going to be too old to do anything of interest in the next game.
Chapter 12. Den of Desires.
Ooh.
Majima sprints through the streets of Sotenbori, but he's immediately found by Sagawa. A little birdie told him that Majima popped out of Sotenbori for a hot second. Majima tells him that he just went to the jail to meet with Nishitani. That's a real dedication, kiddo. Sagawa grabs him by the throat, dragging him down an alley into a dingy public bathroom, slamming him against the wall. Sotenbori is not your backyard, asshole. It's your cage. Your cage! So why the fuck are you leaving your cage without a word, And now you're rushing around. Where are you headed now? Majima tries to play it off, saying that he was just coming to report to him. Oh, Sagawa drops him. Well, that's good, because killing you in a place like this would just break my heart.
I hate this guy, man.
It's just, he seems like just an idiot. He just keeps letting him go, and then he's like, "What, you weren't about to betray me for the 3rd time, were you?"
We're friends, you know. Meanwhile,
Majima fills him in on his conversation with Nishitani. He chuckles when hearing that she's at the Camellia Grove, saying that those Nikyo pricks have good taste. A girl like Makoto shuffling around wailing and sobbing is not going to get you a second look at the Grove. He tells Majima that he'll see what he means when they get there. Majima's surprised, asking if he's coming too. You see a lot of people send a dog out to walk itself. Fuck no, right? You leave Sotenbori, it's me holding the leash. Understood? And so they head off. They head to the Grove, which seems to be, it's a red light district.
Okay.
Yeah, figures, yep.
Its main street is awash in the soft glow of red neon signs, illuminating girls, calling to the passerbys from their traditional homes, promising a good time. And at the end of the street, the grandiose centerpiece of its skyline, the Ben 10 Inn.
Oh.
Yeah, it's cute.
It's a, beautiful building.
Yeah, really, short hell.
It's a traditional-looking Japanese building, for those of you just listening along. Like wood panels, and again, it looks like a torii gate to get inside, and a distant sort of red glow in the windows. It's lovely. I would spend a night there. Not with a lady, but, have a drink.
So to say, I don't know if this is the hotel for you then.
At the Ben 10, he's going to have to make... I'm not even going to try that.
We're about to make a Ben 10 joke.
I was going to say, he'll have to try a number of different ways to fool him. Omnitrix.
Terrible. Move on. Chase, next.
Please keep that in.
I appreciate the attempt.
I fucking gave up halfway through.
They walk into the Grove, and Sagawa pulls out a gun, saying that they're going to split up. He's ready to kill on sight, whether it's a Nikyo-gun, Sarah, or Makoto herself. So basically, Majima better fucking find her first. He runs off quickly running into Nikyo-guns. They're dressed in some traditional attire, all wearing masks. And they tell Majima that Sarah doesn't want his life, and he should turn back while he's still in Tojo's good graces. Majima obviously refuses, so welcome to our next dungeon.
Okay.
Which cute. It's a really nice dungeon. It's big old traditional hotel, cool redwood everywhere. There's like an indoor Zen garden with like lakes and stuff in it.
Love indoor gardens. Yep.
It's great. Oh, I completely forgot about this as well. You run through and there's like, because it's very traditional, there's like falling gates that almost come down on him. There's like spinning paneled walls and goons will come out of the spinning panels.
Excellent.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of cross-dressing thugs.
Right.
Like he walks into a room and he's like, oh, a bunch of women, and they turn around into like Yakuza.
Are they undercover or are they just trans people? Like, what's the thing?
Yakuza can at times, no.
More like, haha, man in dress.
They can do the haha man in dress thing quite a lot. I don't personally find offense with it, but also I understand where it does. He makes it to the top, where he finds Sarah waiting for him.
Oh, he is Sarah. Right.
Yeah, so white suit is Sarah.
Cool. White suit Sarah. Got you?
He congratulates Majima, saying how he can see how he was one of Shimano's favorites. Which is why apparently he put him in the hole for a year and tortured him. But unfortunately, Makoto's just gone. He placed her in the care of one of his colleagues.
Right.
Princess is in another castle, Majima.
Yeah.
Majima demands to know who, and Sarah's not going to hold it back from him. He doesn't see himself as Majima's enemy, but he needs to know the extent of Majima's resolve first, hence the goons.
Of course.
See, all the groups gunning for Makoto are operating as he would expect them to. All, save for one, Majima himself. He's an enigma, a Tojo boy who disappeared, only to reappear 3 years later in Sotenbori, being extorted by the Omi's Sagawa. Why betray him? Is it an attempt to cash in for himself? No. Majima doesn't know Makoto's worth, so why risk his life? Did he fall in love with her? Surely not. Majima sneers that Sarah doesn't know anything about him. Does he even need a reason? Sarah tells him to calm down, saying that the reason doesn't matter, that his resolve is clear, and he has no reason of denigrating that desire. But they now stand at a crossroads for the future of the Tojo. Too much blood has been already spilled. If Majima is planning on charging into that crossroads, guns blazing, out of some half-baked notion of playing hero, Sarah isn't going to stand idly by. He's going to put Majima to the test himself. Boss fight!
Cool.
Sarah's a pain in the ass because he's a pew-pew gun boy.
Oh, brilliant.
And pew-pew gun boys are always a pain in the ass in this series.
Yeah, surely getting close to him is a nightmare.
Oh, it's not as bad in this game. What's the most recent one? Oh my god. Gaiden, when it came out, has a pew-pew gun boy boss fight, and he fucking brings you to the ground like hours away from him, and you keep trying to get close. Oh.
Awful.
It depends on which game. He's okay in this game, but pew-pew gun boys are annoying.
Do you ever wield a gun
Yeah.
in the series?
Yeah, you can pick him off the ground. There's a really amusing heat action that Kiryu has in a lot of games, where he steals the gun off somebody, bashes them over the head, and then shoots him 5 times in the chest.
What? But he doesn't kill.
He doesn't kill.
That's so good. It's this. I guess it's probably similar to Sleeping Dogs, where it's this kind of unspoken rule that no, for the most part, yes, we have access to guns, but we're gonna fight each other with fists. However, you can pick up. You can't buy guns. You can't customize guns. You can't have them saved in your. But you can pick them up and like shoot.
No, you can in this. I've not really played much into the gameplay. You can have a gun this whole time.
Okay.
Remember
Well, you
that
can buy a gun.
Majima had a weapon shop available to him, where he could have been buying weapons this whole time. Now, guns.
But Majima also has never killed a person.
Guns
canonically.
specifically, you don't often buy. I think a couple games you can buy them in. Usually, you just pick up a gun that an enemy has dropped off the ground, and then it will like have 6 ammo, and you can go do 6 shots or something.
Exactly.
Just seems like a missed opportunity just to be like, no, we're not going to take the time to animate, program the use of guns because your characters
I don't mind that at all. I don't mind that.
No, that's fine because there's so much depth to the combat otherwise.
Well, that's what I mean. There's so much depth to combat. Why even have a
Oh, I see what you mean.
easy to use weapon that presumably does quite a bit of damage?
Oh, because they're very infrequent and they have incredibly limited ammo. Usually when you pick one up, it only has 1 or 2 shots in it.
Sure, just don't see the point in having it in the first place. But no, it's fine. It's whatever. It's just combat. Combat is combat.
Sarah has no chance against the lover boy. Satisfied with Majima's resolve, he tells him the identity of the one that he passed Makoto off to. A real estate agent.
Oh.
Majima finally gets to be filled in on the plot. Seems that, fully unbeknownst to her, Makoto was willed the deed to a certain plot of land, a small 3 square meters worth 1 billion yen, the empty lot. Makoto's been brought to Kamurocho, where that plot stands at the center of a power grab that makes the 1 billion yen look like pocket change. Sarah assures Majima that he has no intention of harming Makoto. He just needs the lot. But Majima ain't hearing it. Good for you, but while you're playing nice, the other guys are coming in hot. Already came a bull's hair away from getting lit up with a damn car bomb. Now he's gone and given her to a goddamn house peddler? Might as well put a sign on her saying, come and get me. Sarah tells Majima that the firm is unorthodox, and she will assuredly be safe with them. Majima doesn't have time for this shit, demanding the name and address. He's hauling ass back to Kamurocho. Even if doing so...
went all the way, like, it's just...
Even if doing so only places her in greater danger, Sarah asks him. He reminds Majima of his present company, Sagawa. He'll kill Makoto by any means necessary. Majima goes to Kamurocho and he'll be close behind. The safest thing for Makoto is for Majima to stay shackled in Sotenbori. Majima asks if those pencil pushers can really keep her safe. With a sigh, Sarah pulls out a gun, tossing it to Majima. If you really think you can't trust me, aim the gun and kill me. The real estate agent's business card is in my breast pocket.
Wait, what? Okay, sure, yeah.
You can take it off my corpse. I told you this because I trust you. I now need to know that it's mutual. Majima looks at the gun in his hand and raises it, pointing it square at Sarah's heart. And then he throws it away, saying that Makoto gets so much as scratched and he's dragging him to hell. Sarah swears to keep her safe. Now you stay in Sotenbori and keep Sagawa. He's cut off by the sound of a gunshot, crumpling to the ground, but revealing behind him Sagawa stood there with a smoking gun.
I was wondering where the hell he was, because they split up at the front of the hotel.
He took a while to get up here.
I've made jokes about, like, Kuzi being the cockroach of the game. No, he is the cockroach of the game. I hate Sagawa with all my heart.
I really like Sagawa, actually.
Why? Every scene he's bullying, torturing. He's just a.
I'm not doing a good performance of him. He is such like he plays Majima's friend the whole time, which really makes the moments where he becomes threatening really fucking creepy because they are just so opposite to his normal personality.
Well, I think that's what I mean. This is why I hate him. Like, he creeps me out quite a lot. I think you've done him well. I don't like him.
I like him.
Do you like to hate him, or do you like
a bit of both? I do actually legitimately like him. I think he's a villain who has a surprising amount of depth.
Sure. No, I mean, it just means he's a villain I don't like. Like, I love to hate him, but I kind of don't love to hate him. I'm just kind of sick of him at this point. Get him killed. Get him killed. Right, presumably the business card is Kiryu's, is it?
Anyhow. Hey, nice combo play, Majima. You got his gun, so I could go in for the kill, yeah? He kicks Sarah's body over, grabbing the business card from his pocket. He throws it to Majima. Turn that frown upside down. You wanted to know, didn't you? Majima looks at the card in his hand. Tachibana Real Estate, Kazuma Kiryu. Yes. Guess it's time to let you out the cage, eh, Majima-chan? I'm saying Sotenbori can't hold you back from roaming free anymore. You're in right, Kamurocho. Majima's surprised and confused by this, but obviously Sagawa was dragging him along to hunt down Makoto with him. I mean, Sagawa points his gun right behind Majima's eyes. We've already come this far, eh? You and me, Tiger. End of chapter. And end of part. I want pizza. Sure. My voice hurts. It needs a rest. Absolutely. So I think that we are going to leave the last few chapters for a nice, big finale.
Ooh, okay.
Yep. Juicy. I'm juiced up.
It's a nice, big, throbbing finale coming up for you.
I will say, because obviously it's a long game, I am kind of psyched for Majima and Kiryu to meet. And see what that relationship ends up being.
I am so excited for you to see it.
Because I'm looking forward to it, because I think it will add a lot of... I think seeing these two parallel characters finally clash, I think that'll be interesting. Interesting that we seem to have almost skipped a Kiryu chapter. Like, Kiryu has come here, picked her up, and left, and we did not play that.
I will say, we're about to go back and do that.
No, we're not.
Like, that's what the next chapter is.
Okay, sure.
Is us heading to get her.
But in order to keep the listener on board, the rest of part 3 will be really fun and interesting and new stuff, right?
It will!
Yeah.
Oh, it's about to go fucking batshit.
I can't wait.
The last 5 chapters of this game are a fucking roller coaster. Like, from here on out, it is just nonstop.
Sick.
I don't know if I have any side content in the remainder of this game because it is just...
I've come around to just the side content. It's what I'm here for. But it's all right. It's fine. I'm excited.
We're going to love it.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we'll say goodbye.
We'll see you all next time.
See you in the next episode. There will be no teaser. You know what's coming. It's part 3 of this. So we will see you in the next episode.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.